Chapter 226 Changes in the Door to the Myriad Realms, Seeking Subscriptions, _2. The clan elder is calling me. Heyu Qin suddenly felt a shiver run through him. Come at once. Although he didn't know what the clan elder wanted with him, Heyu Qin knew that he must not defy the elder. Quickly. Heyu Qin appeared before the clan elder. Elder. Heyu Qin bowed deeply, keeping his posture extremely low. Heyu Qin, I have sent you a document, take a good look at it. The clan elder took a deep breath, then give me an explanation. Okay. Upon hearing this, Heyu Qin immediately began to receive the document the clan elder had sent. The Red Kun lineage, the true identity of Shirsan Peak Master, is in fact an evolver from the Dawn Star system, from Kanglan Star, named Lin Yuan. The more Heyu Qin read, the more panicked he became. His heart trembled, his legs went weak, and he found himself unable to control his own body, collapsing onto the ground. Lin Yuan. Hadn't he been cut off from trading with Kanglan Star by his nephew Heyu Ao, all because of this Lin Yuan? And now, this Lin Yuan's identity was Shirsan Peak Master? Heyu Qin felt the world spinning, breathing became unbearably difficult. He was keenly aware of what his actions meant. He himself had initiated the trade cutoff and had spread the word that it was all because Lin Yuan was disrespectful. But now, Lin Yuan had become the Shirsan Peak Master of the Red Kun lineage, one of the high-ranking beings of the Qikun Star domain. One couldn't merely talk about himself. Even the Seicoming Divine Needle Heyu Mo of the Heyu family would have to treat Lin Yuan with utmost respect. And he had tried to suppress Lin Yuan. Heyu Ao, you have doomed me. You have put me beyond redemption. Heyu Qin crawled to the elder's feet, clutching his thighs. Elder, none of this has anything to do with me. It was all Heyu Ao, it was all his doing. I have no grievances against that Lin. Against the Honorable Shirsan Peak Master, it was all Heyu Ao's orders. Heyu Qin wept bitterly. He understood that he was finished, regardless of whether he wanted to do it or was ordered by someone else. As the person directly involved in suppressing the Shirsan Peak Master, he was bound to meet no good end. Yet, even in death, there were differences. The Heyu family had ways to make the guilty wish for death. Heyu Ao. The clan elder closed his eyes. I will speak to the family about this. As for you, the clan elder looked at the sobbing Heyu Qin. In an instant, a guard approached and subdued Heyu Qin. Only after Heyu Qin had been taken away did the elder turn around to face the others behind him. They were all high-ranking members of the Heyu family stationed in the Dawn Star system, each of them looking grave. Before Heyu Qin arrived, they had already gathered and almost fully grasped the situation. Gentlemen, the time concerning the life and death, the survival of our Heyu family, has come, the clan elder said somberly. Life and death. The rest trembled slightly at the thought. Indeed, it was a matter of life and death. The Heyu family had grievously offended the Shirsan Peak Master. As one of the Qikun Star domain's 5 grand powers, deeply rooted with far-reaching influence, the Heyu family wouldn't face immediate issues even after offending the Shirsan Peak Master. But given enough time, it would undoubtedly weaken rapidly, and might completely perish after hundreds or thousands of years. Therefore, the situation the Heyu family was facing could indeed be considered life and death. If we'd known earlier, we should never have given Heyu Qin the power. To cut off all trade with a life planet might not be a major issue, but it is not a trivial matter either. If it had been reviewed by us, perhaps such an incident wouldn't have occurred. It's only a possibility. Heyu Ao is a direct descendant of our family. If he had come to us asking to cut off trade with Kanglan Star, would you have disagreed? The mistake lies in the fact that a middle-grade life planet like Kanglan Star could give birth to a great person like the Shirsan Peak Master, and Heyu Ao just happened to run into the Shirsan Peak Master. Since it has already happened, discussing this is pointless. What's critical now is how to resolve the animosity the Shursan Peak Master has towards our Heiyu family. Heiyu Qin will certainly have to be handed over, but the main culprit is Heiyu Ao, and Heiyu Ao, the people in the room discussed fervently. They had the power to decide Heiyu Qin's fate, but as for Heiyu Ao, after all, he was the son of Heiyu Amo. How to deal with Heiyu Ao had to be in consultation with Heiyu Mo's wishes. I will go and speak on this matter. It concerns the family heritage, no matter who it is, those who must be sacrificed will have to be, as long as it can recover the favor of the Shursan Peak Master, as long as it can eliminate the Shursan Peak Master's animosity towards our family, no price is too great. The clan elder stood up, looked at everyone, and declared firmly. Chikuan Main Star. Official member Cultivation Site. Fong Qing was sitting cross-legged, imagining the likeness of an ancient god in his mind. The evolution path of the ancient gods is simple in practice yet difficult in theory. That was to meditate on the ancient god corresponding to one's own evolutionary path and to imitate that entity as much as possible. The reason this was difficult was that even a minor mistake could lead to retaliation and possible death on the spot. Huff. Fong Qing finished his cultivation, a look of relief washing over his face. Just at that moment, Fong boy, quickly look at the document, go look at the document. A roaring voice came through, unmistakably from the white-bearded old man. What's the rush? What could possibly be so important? Fong Qing's brow furrowed slightly, feeling that his mentor was prone to overreacting, as if he had never seen the world before. Are you going to look or not? The white-bearded old man's tone rose a few notches. Fine, I'll look, but I certainly won't be like you. Fong Qing immediately skimmed through the document, muttering to himself as he read. Until, the true identity of Shursan Peak Master is an evolver from Kanglan Star in the Dawn Star system named Lin Yuan. What the fuck? Fong Qing was astounded. Big Brother Lin is Shursan Peak Master. Fong Qing felt bewildered, rereading the document several times to confirm that the Lin Yuan mentioned was indeed the Big Brother Lin he knew, and not somebody with the same name. His mind turned to mush. It took a moment for him to somewhat snap back to his senses. This, Fong Qing's eyes widened, and though he was alerted by the white-bearded old man that Lin Yuan must have some sort of ace up his sleeve, otherwise, he wouldn't foolishly refuse Heiyu Ao's recruitment. But this ace, was it not too big? The 13th Peak Master of the Red Kuan lineage. Was this his fucking trump card? So that's how it is. I was wondering why, with your Big Brother Lin's talent, it would be impossible for him to pass the 7-star cave trial, even a waste like you passed. It made no sense. So that's how it is. So that's how it is. So that's how it is. The white-bearded old man's voice, filled with sudden understanding, kept ringing in Fong Qing's ears. Fong Qing's mouth twitched. He had some objections to the old man's constant calling him a waste, especially in comparison to Big Brother Lin, so he immediately dared not say much more. Shursan Peak Master, Fong Qing couldn't help but look up, staring off at the 14 peaks standing tall in the center of the main star. Inside the palace, Lin Yuan was sitting cross-legged. Life essence, imprint, merging into the universe. Lin Yuan pondered carefully while feeling everything within his body. After stepping into the 6th rank, his physical soul underwent significant metamorphosis. Lin Yuan faintly sensed a deeper layer of space within the cosmic starry sky. Whether it was real or an illusion was unknown, but Lin Yuan felt that it was a place unreachable by mere flesh and blood. According to the Red Kuan lineage's description of that space, it should be the origin source space of this cosmic starry sky. It's the most central place of the universe, where only ethereal entities like life imprints are able to merge. As for life, even the most powerful beings could not enter the origin source space. Life essence, Lin Yuan slowly circulated the power within his body, resonating faintly with that layer of space. I can feel it. It should be about to merge soon. Lin Yuan's spirit shuddered. Merging the life imprint did not require much skill, otherwise, it wouldn't be achievable by a 6th rank evolver. Upon sensing the space where the life imprint rested, the final merge was imminent. As the life imprint continued to merge, Lin Yuan felt more at ease, able to spare a bit of consciousness to attend to other matters. The door to the myriad realms, a thread of Lin Yuan's consciousness reached the depths of his mind. This was his first visit here since advancing to the 6th rank. What's this? No sooner had Lin Yuan's consciousness reached this place than he noticed changes to the door to the myriad realms. Compared to before his breakthrough into the 6th rank, the door had become more majestic, solemn, and insurmountable. Not only did it no longer appear ethereal, but it also seemed more like a physical object. Since Lin Yuan became aware of the door to the myriad realms, this colossal gate had always been ethereal. Even when the outer regions were illuminated, you could still discern its ephemeral nature. But now, the door to the myriad realms actually gave Lin Yuan a tangible sensation. Furthermore, as Lin Yuan gazed at the door to the myriad realms, a vast amount of information flooded into Lin Yuan's soul from the door. Chapter 227 Despair of Heyu Ao. These pieces of information, Lin Yuan rubbed his temples and even halted the act of integrating his life imprint into the universe. The information he received was obviously vast and exceedingly important. So, the door to the myriad realms in the depths of my mind is merely a projection of the true door to the myriad realms. Lin Yuan's thoughts converged silently. The real door to the myriad realms was not something that a frail and insignificant life like Lin Yuan could sustain, even if the former had acknowledged him as its master. The disparity in levels between them was too great for them to coexist in the same space. With Lin Yuan's strength before stepping into the 6th rank, bearing a projection of the door to the myriad realms was already his limit. Even now, as Lin Yuan had evolved to a 6th rank evolver, and his life essence had undergone transformation, making him capable of leaving a brand in the main world, he still could not sustain the real door to the myriad realms. Of course, stepping into the 6th rank wasn't without its changes. The current Lin Yuan could carry a projection of the door to the myriad realms, and its inherent essence had elevated much. This point could be explained by the additional information about the door to the myriad realms that Lin Yuan acquired. World-breaking origin force. Lin Yuan's expression grew somewhat solemn. According to the information just received from the projection of the door to the myriad realms, he knew that the world-breaking origin force was one of the core energy sources of the door to the myriad realms. Every 333 days, the projection of the door to the myriad realms could accumulate a strand of world-breaking origin force from the void. The specific manifestation was the lighting up of the peripheral area of the door to the myriad realms. Simply put, a strand of world-breaking origin force could allow Lin Yuan to travel once. The uses of world-breaking origin force were numerous. 10 strands of world-breaking origin force could enable Lin Yuan to return once more to any world he had previously traversed. This seemed rather good. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Although, thus far, the 4 traversals he conducted all ended with Lin Yuan emerging invincible, as the number of traversals increased and the levels of the worlds he visited were raised, under the restriction of the door to the myriad realms that limited the duration of stay, Lin Yuan couldn't guarantee that he would be able to conquer every traversed world. If there were any important treasures or things in the worlds that he hadn't fully enjoyed, he could use this method to return to those realms and continue to enjoy them. But that depended on the treasures or opportunities being sufficiently important, as 10 strands of world-breaking origin force were enough for Lin Yuan to traverse 10 times. 50 strands of world-breaking origin force can allow for physical traversal. Lin Yuan had long known that the door to the myriad realms was not limited to consciousness descent but also allowed for physical traversal. Though this method of traversal could establish a massive advantage early on, without the need for gradual cultivation, the risks were also greater. If one were to perish in a traversed world, it would probably mean true death, which is far less forgiving than the opportunity for a do-over that consciousness descent offered. 100 strands of world-breaking origin force would allow me to choose the worlds for traversal, according to my desires. Meaning, Lin Yuan could control the type and direction of the worlds he traversed based on his own needs. Such a utility was quite satisfying to Lin Yuan. All the traversals conducted by the door to the myriad realms thus far had been random. Such traversals were not harmful in the early stages, but as Lin Yuan's strength and realm continued to rise, some of the worlds he traversed wouldn't provide much aid. At this time, the effect of customized traversal showed its value. Lin Yuan could tailor a world that fit his cultivation system and could bring him immense aid. 100 strands of world-breaking origin force, too expensive, given the door to the myriad realms projections rate of accumulating 1 strand of world-breaking origin force every 333 days, 100 strands would likely take 90 years. 1,000 strands of world-breaking origin force can bring back an item from any of the traversed worlds, Lin Yuan sighed. If 100 strands of world-breaking origin force already required waiting for over 90 years, wouldn't 1,000 strands necessitate nearly a millennium? Such use of world-breaking origin force wouldn't be considered by Lin Yuan unless it was for some special origin source treasure of a world. 10,000 strands of world-breaking origin force. Lin Yuan had not seen the specific effects of 10,000 strands of world-breaking origin force, but according to the current information received, there should be use for such an amount. The current door to the myriad realms projection, the accumulated world-breaking origin force. Lin Yuan sensed it and found that the current amount of world-breaking origin force was just over 1 strand. The accumulation of world-breaking origin force should be based on the standard of the main world. Lin Yuan thought for a moment and continued to start integrating a bit of his life brand into the universe. Kanglan Star. Governor Song Wuyang stretched languidly. Governor, all matters have been dealt with, and what follows is your personal rest time, came the voice of his AI assistant. Personal rest time. Song Wuyang's face showed a smile. Suddenly, at that moment, the voice of the AI assistant came through once again. Governor, Nolan Chensi requests to speak with you. Nolan Chensi. Song Wuyang suddenly tensed up. The surname Chensi came from the strongest force in the Dawn Star system, the Dawn Association. And Nolan Chensi was the vice-chairman of the Dawn Association, a major figure in the Dawn Star system, second only to the chairman. Agree to the call. Song Wuyang took a deep breath to stabilize his emotions, and immediately gave the command. He was somewhat anxious, unsure why such a high-ranking individual was personally reaching out to him. Now that Kanglan Star had just recovered from the pressure exerted by the Heiyu family, he hoped there wouldn't be any unexpected incident. The holographic screen before him showed the image of Nolan Chensi. I've seen Nolan, sir. Chapter 228 The Despair of Heiyu AO_2. Song Wuyang's tone was somewhat constrained. What great man, not great man. Nolan Chensi seemed very amiable, completely lacking the imposing aura and unapproachability that Song Wuyang remembered. The Kanglan Star you govern is truly remarkable, having given birth to such a great evolver. Nolan Chensi said with a smile. What? Song Wuyang blinked. He understood every word that Nolan Chensi said, but when put together, Song Wuyang didn't know what to make of it. What does truly remarkable mean? Nolan Chensi, as the vice president of the Dawn Association, wouldn't even spare high-grade life planets a glance, let alone Kanglan Star. And yet, now, this big shot from the Dawn Star system was voluntarily praising Kanglan Star. Also, a great evolver was born. Song Wuyang still hadn't comprehended. He was well aware of the number of evolvers on Kanglan Star and their specific circumstances. There certainly wasn't any great evolver as referred to by the esteemed Nolan Chensi. Lord Nolan. I'm not sure what you mean, Song Wuyang asked cautiously. I forgot this matter hasn't reached Kanglan Star yet. Nolan Chensi's smile did not diminish as his gaze turned even more affable. You should know about Peak Master Shursan, right? Peak Master Shursan. Song Wuyong was stunned. Of course, he knew of Peak Master Shursan. He was the pride of the Chikuan star domain, who not long ago had challenged the genius evolvers of the various star domains. Even the undefeated Holy Sun from the Wanyang star domain had been forced to bow his head in defeat at the hands of Peak Master Shursan. Song Wuyang not only knew of Peak Master Shursan but had also watched every one of his challenges, almost becoming a fan. But what did Peak Master Shursan have to do with him? If the Dawn star system could dare to fantasize, then maybe Peak Master Shursan came from their star system. But as for Song Wuyang, he didn't even dare to fantasize about it, because the probability was too low, nearly impossible. With over 1 million life planets in the Chikuan star domain, including high-grade life planets and various main stars and so on. Why on earth would the great Peak Master Shursan come from a backward and remote planet like Kanglan star? It was completely unscientific. Lord Nolan, this Peak Master Shursan, Song Wuyang asked, puzzled. That's right. Nolan Chensi nodded. The true identity of the great Peak Master Shursan is indeed an evolver named Lin Yuan from your Kanglan star. Also, Peak Master Shursan has participated in a tournament and even won the championship, you should remember. Nolan Chensi's tone remained kind as he spoke. If it weren't for the list provided by the family's think tank, how could he, Huao, have known about the tremendous potential for improvement in these evolvers? That a little training could greatly boost their strength. Just then. My father is looking for me. Huao tensed up. He received a video call from his father. This left Huao somewhat at a loss. Huao's father, the Seicoming divine needle of the Heyu family, the 7th rank evolver Huamo. As the youngest son of Huamo, Huao had met his father fewer times than he could count on both hands. Let alone receiving a personal video call from him. Could it be that father has discovered my achievements outside? Huao speculated in his heart and quickly accepted his father's call. On the virtual screen before him, Heyumo's image soon appeared. Heyumo was tall and emitted a certain dark and chilly aura. Heyumo spoke in a cold tone, I've sent someone to fetch you. Don't resist when they arrive. After saying this, Heyumo ended the call. Ha! Huao was confused. His father, the Seicoming divine needle of the Heyu family, had video called him personally just to tell him this. Fetching me back to the family. Huao fell silent. He had dreamed of returning to the family. But the words of his father, Heyumo, made him uneasy. What has happened? Heyuao furrowed his brow in deep thought. Mr. Ao. At that moment, the elder in the black suit, Bei Zhao, suddenly walked in. Chensi Main Star has announced the identity of Master Shursan. Oh. Heyuao's spirit was immediately uplifted, and he quickly connected to the virtual world to receive the relevant files. The real identity of Master Shursan is Lin Yuan from Kanglan Star. Heyuao was stunned. He disconnected from the virtual world, shook his head to fully wake himself up, and then re-entered the virtual world. Yet, the file regarding Master Shursan's true identity still identified him as Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan of Kanglan Star. How can this be? Heyuao was in disbelief. The great Master Shursan, why would he come from a backward middle-grade life planet? The fact that Master Shursan was from Kanglan Star, though shocking, was manageable. What Heyuao found unbelievable was that the evolver he had targeted at random could actually be Master Shursan. Why? Why am I so unlucky? The files came from the official source of Chensi Main Star, leaving no doubt as to their authenticity. Combined with the attitude of his father, Heyumo, just moments ago, Heyuao realized the magnitude of his offense. It's over. Yu Ao's face turned ashen. He was well aware of the consequences of offending Master Shirsan. Even if Master Shirsan didn't pursue the matter, his father, Yu Mo, with his character, would never let it go. As Yu Ao trembled with fear, a figure in a black overcoat appeared silently. Standing behind Yu Ao, the figure spoke in an icy tone, "Mr. Ao, please come with me." Chapter 229 Update Martial Path Evolutionary Path. The Yu family. Yu Mo sat on the throne in the Grand Hall. His gaze was deep as he looked towards the cosmic starry sky. At his ears, a highly secretive fluctuation resounded. Yu Mo, you have infiltrated human civilization for hundreds of thousands of years. All along, you have done very well, but today, you need to do one last thing. Kill Shirsan, the Peak Master. That Shirsan Peak Master, who has just stepped into the 6th rank and is the tribe's great diviner, has confirmed that his life mark is not yet fully integrated into the universe. At this time, if you kill him, he will die completely, with no possibility of resurrection. If it were anyone else, even an 8th-layer powerhouse, it wouldn't be possible to break into Chikuan main star and kill that Shirsan Peak Master. But you, Yu Mo, are different. You are under the command of Chikuan Star Lord, and you have the right to enter Chikuan main star. Secondly, your youngest son once suppressed Shirsan Peak Master. If you take your youngest son to Chikuan main star to offer an apology, you will have a chance to meet Shirsan Peak Master. At that time, make your move. After calculations by the tribe's great diviner, you have a 10% chance of killing Shirsan Peak Master. A series of extremely subtle vibrations entered Yu Mo's ears, transforming into information he could understand. Kill Shirsan Peak Master. Yu Mo remained silent. He knew very well that the chances of killing Shirsan Peak Master under the watchful eyes of Chikuan Star Lord were exceedingly slim. And no matter whether he succeeded in killing him or not, he, Yu Mo, and the entire Yu family would be doomed. Yu Mo, the talent and potential shown by Shirsan Peak Master suggests that he may become a 7th-rank monarch, or even ascend to 8th layer. For hundreds of thousands of years, you have been stuck at 7th-rank marquis level. If you can kill Shirsan Peak Master, it will all be worth it. As for the Yu family you run. Considering your youngest son's oppression of Shirsan Peak Master, the downfall of the Yu family is only a matter of time. The subtle vibration continued. I am not sure that I can kill Shirsan Peak Master within the perceptual range of the Star Lord. Yu Mo replied. The subtle vibration stated he had a 10% chance of killing Shirsan Peak Master. But Yu Mo felt that a 10% chance was too high, based on his understanding of the Star Lord. As long as it was on the main star, he could appear instantaneously at any location. Regarding this, the tribe's great diviner is prepared. This secret technique can grant you 8th-layer strength in an instant. As long as Chikuan Star Lord is not constantly on guard against you, there is a chance of killing Shirsan Peak Master. A subtle vibration transmitted a secret technique. Secret technique, Yu Mo glanced at it. This secret technique required him to burn everything of himself. Physical soul, lifespan, and potential, to gain a temporary surge in strength. Using this secret technique, he indeed had a chance to kill Shirsan Peak Master, but he would not survive afterwards. After the event, he would die from the backlash of the secret technique without the need for any action from the Red Kuan lineage. Yu Mo remained silent. Yu Mo, as long as you do as I told, whether successful or not, your tribe, your people, will be granted 10 constellations as their home. My insect race will dispatch massive resources and treasures to cultivate your people and tribe. The subtle vibration continued. I understand. Yu Mo replied softly. Shortly after, Yu Ao was brought into the palace. Father, Yu Ao's limbs were trembling, and his lips quivered as he looked at Yu Mo seated on the throne. Heiyu Mo's expression was calm as he looked down at his youngest son. The act of Heiyu Ao suppressing Lin Yuan was criticized by many in the Heiyu family, but to other species, it was seen as an opportunity. It was because of Heiyu Ao's rashness that Heiyu Mo had the opportunity to take Heiyu Ao to meet Shursan Peak Master. Without this incident, Heiyu Mo would have no pretext to meet Shursan Peak Master. Forcing a meeting without reason could have likely alerted the divination class evolvers on Chikuan main star to something unusual. Everything in the universe follows its natural laws. Under normal circumstances, Heiyu Mo would not need to urgently meet Shursan Peak Master. If he insisted on doing so, it would be abnormal and prompt the divination class evolvers to delve deeper. But with Heiyu Ao, it was different. My son once oppressed you, and now we have come here to offer apologies. This would seem reasonable and normal. No one could find fault with it. My tribe, although Heiyu Mo appeared calm on the surface, his mind was intensely conflicted. He came from a weak tribe deep within the star space. The war between human civilization and the insect race affected the tribe where Heiyu Mo originated. Under unavoidable circumstances, Heiyu Mo had no choice but to follow his tribe and ally with the insect race. Because of his decent evolutionary talent and potential, the insect race arranged for him to enter the territory of human civilization. It is fairly common for members of weak tribes like Heiyu Mo's to occasionally drift into human civilization territory and settle down there. Human civilization did not take too many precautions against such beings, enabling Heiyu Mo to join Chikuan Star Lord and establish the formidable Heiyu family. Of course, due to Heiyu Mo's foreign origin, it was impossible for him to become a high-ranking member of human civilization. Establishing the Heiyu family was already the limit. Father. Mother. Heiyu Mo's thoughts drifted as if he had returned to hundreds of thousands of years ago when he was still a child, running across the plains with his parents. Life was so carefree back then. If not for the war between humans and the insect race, he would probably be very happy now, staying by his parents' side, not needing to think or do anything. Chapter 230 Update Martial Path Evolutionary Path _2 Father's shoulders were wide, sturdy enough to bear the livelihood of their entire family. After so many years, father and mother have long been dead. Heiyu Mo's thoughts returned to reality. Though his father and mother had passed, the other clan members, whose names Heiyu Mo could no longer recall, were still his kin. In Heiyu Mo's heart, these members of the Heiyu family were nothing more than tools to disguise his true identity. Ever since he had infiltrated human civilization, Heiyu Mo had not let his guard down for a moment. Father, mother, I will come to see you soon. Heiyu Mo stood up and walked over to the trembling Heiyu Ao, helped him up, and said, Come, let's go apologize to the 13th Peak Master. Chikuan Main Star. In the square of the central continent. Heiyu Mo, accompanied by Heiyu Ao, sought an audience with the 13th Peak Master. Brother Heiyu Mo, your youngest son, the steward of the Red Kun lineage looked at Heiyu Mo with a trace of pity on his face. Since the identity of the 13th Peak Master was made public, every bit of information about Lin Yuan had been unearthed. Among them was the issue of Heiyu Ao suppressing the 13th Peak Master. In others' eyes, Heiyu Mo was just terribly unlucky, having had a good standing in the family, only to offend the 13th Peak Master because of his youngest son. How unfair was that? In fact, Heiyu Ao was unlucky too. For someone of his direct lineage in a prominent clan, using his power to suppress an evolver without any background was not unusual. The Human Civilization Alliance, governed by 3 goddesses from on high, rarely saw violations of the law. Yet suppression was unavoidable. Take for example, this company is mine, and if I don't like you, I can let the company fire you. Under the oversight of the 3 goddesses, at most the full penalty would be paid, and they wouldn't insist on employing a particular person. Give a message to the 13th Peak Master. Just tell him that I, Mo, have a valuable treasure to offer. Mo said softly to the steward. This was also to pique the 13th Peak Master's curiosity. To entice him into showing up for a meeting. Mo, as a 7th rank evolver, might be referring to a treasure of king-level ranking at the 7th rank. Such treasures, even valued by the Great Peak Master, the 2nd, and the 3rd, would be taken seriously. Lin Yuan, having just become the 13th Peak Master, might have risen in status, but certainly didn't possess many treasures. Understood. The steward of the Red Kuan lineage nodded. He saw nothing strange in this. Moreover, coming over to seek forgiveness, one should not come empty-handed, right? After watching the steward leave, Mo composed himself. All he could do now was wait. Wait for the 13th Peak Master to summon him so he could activate that secret technique and strangle this human genius within the 6th rank. In exchange for a better living environment and resources for his race. Inside the palace on the peak, Lin Yuan received the news that Mo was bringing Ao to seek forgiveness. But, Lin Yuan had no intention of meeting them. Before his life imprint merged into the cosmos, Lin Yuan could hardly settle down to cultivate, let alone meet people. And his eldest senior brother had made it very clear. For Lin Yuan, the most important thing now was to integrate his life imprint into the cosmos. As for everything else, even meeting his teacher, the Chikuan Starlord, could be postponed, let alone Mo, it's almost time. Lin Yuan breathed out lightly, his eyes shining. Integrating the life imprint, though not difficult and something any 6th rank evolver could achieve, was a process that required patience and could not be rushed. Kanglan Star. Continental Manor. Xiao Yuan's seclusion is lasting quite long this time. Lu Qiong's face showed a hint of worry. Isn't that normal? Lin Shouqing had grown accustomed. After all, my son is Kanglan Star's once-in-10 millennia genius. What's a few months of seclusion? I've heard those higher-rank evolvers, every time they seclude themselves, it could be for dozens or even hundreds of years. Lin Shouqing said. Right. Daughter. Lin Shouqing glanced at Lin Yi not far away. At the moment, Lin Yi was watching the 13th Peak Master's combat videos over and over. Yes, yes, yes. Lin Yi responded nonchalantly. Just then, the smart housekeeper mentioned that someone had come to visit. Governor Song has come over. Lu Qiong immediately stood up, ready to greet the visitor personally. Because of Lin Yuan's championship in the arena competition, Song Weiyang often came over to pay his respects. So, Song Weiyang's visit did not attract much attention from the family. Very soon, Song Weiyang walked in. Governor Song, Xiao Yuan is currently in closed meditation and can't come out for the time being. I'm sorry, Lu Qiong's face was full of apologies. She naturally knew that Song Weiyang's visit could only mean he was looking for Lin Yuan. As for them, they didn't have the status to warrant a personal visit from Governor Song. I'll notify Xiao Yuan right away. Lin Shouqing got up, intending to send a message to Lin Yuan. Of course, such a notification was like leaving a voicemail, which Lin Yuan would only see when he was done with his affairs. No need, no need. Song Weiyang hurriedly waved his hand. Mr. Lin must be busy over at Chikuan Main Star. I just came over to have a look. I wouldn't dare disturb him. Upon hearing this, Lu Qiong and Lin Shouqing looked slightly stunned. What did Song Weiyang just say? Xiao Yuan is on Chikuan Main Star. Governor Song, you must be mistaken. My brother was still in meditation in the main building a few days ago. Lin Yi, noticing the error in Song Weiyang's words, couldn't help but interject. Little Yi, Lu Qiong glared at Lin Yi. Even if Song Weiyang was mistaken, it wasn't appropriate to point it out directly. That was too impolite. Ha ha ha, don't worry about it, Governor Song. Little E is just like that. But still, you must pay attention to rest amidst your busy schedule, Lin Shouqing seized the opportunity to say. Mr. Lin, Mrs. Liu, and Miss Lin, Song Liang's expression became solemn. I'm not mistaken, Mr. Lin should indeed be on Qikuan main star. Song Liang paused for a moment, then continued, also, there is some great news I need to share. Your son, Mr. Lin Yuan, is the 13th peak master of the Red Kuan lineage. Song Liang declared. As soon as these words came out, Lin Shouqing, Lu Qiong, and Lin Yi looked at Song Liang. It seems like Governor Song has indeed been overworking himself. Lin Shouqing stepped forward to smooth things over. However, Governor, such a joke about the 13th peak master isn't appropriate, that's. Lin Shouqing hinted delicately. With his status, he naturally had no place to correct a planetary governor. But this matter could be big or small, and could even involve his own family, so Lin Shouqing summoned the courage to speak. Ha 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 ha, Song Liang saw their reactions and showed no sign of surprise. When he first learned that the 13th peak master's true identity was Lin Yuan, he was no less shocked. Mr. Lin, Mrs. Liu, and Miss Lin, Song Liang, am quite lucid, your son is the 13th peak master. Soon, a guard unit from Chenxi Main Star will come to protect you, Song Liang said earnestly. Ah. Lu Qiong and Lin Shouqing looked at each other in bewilderment. It was at this moment that they faintly realized that Song Liang was not joking. Impossible. My brother is just at 4th rank, while the 13th peak master is at 6th rank. Lin Yi couldn't help but say. That's because the 13th peak master's talent and aptitude are too terrifying. If he revealed his true identity, those different species would surely keep attempting assassinations continuously, Song Liang said without hesitation. He then directly shared the identity confirmation document from Chenxi Main Star with them. This, Lu Qiong and Lin Shouqing were flabbergasted. After seeing the unique seal of Chenxi Main Star on the document, they took a while to come to their senses. Then I'll take my leave now. If there is anything, you can contact me at any time. Seeing the situation, Song Liang immediately got up to leave. He had come specifically to inform Lu Qiong and Lin Shouqing of this matter, in order to gain their favor. Now that he had achieved his goal, and Lu Qiong and the Lin family probably had a lot to discuss, it wouldn't be appropriate for him to remain. Chapter 231 Star Domain Rankings. Please subscribe. Martial Path Evolutionary Path. Lin Yuan's thoughts diverged, his expression showing brief contemplation. After its refinement, the Martial Path Evolutionary Path saw a significant enhancement in potential. Apart from the Tao of Taiji formed by Taiyin and Taiyang, evolvers could choose their own preferred paths and then combine them with others to form many branches. Furthermore, the lower limit of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, or more accurately, the training threshold, had also been reduced significantly. Simply put, it is more adaptable, and the evolvers practicing martial Tao have greater hopes of advancing to the 3rd rank, 4th rank, and 5th rank. Spreading the evolutionary path related to oneself, the more lives that practice it, the more it enhances certain foundations, aiding the ultimate leap in the future. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The related to oneself here could be like the ancient gods' evolutionary path, imitating everything about the ancient gods. It could also be like Lin Yuan, who established a certain evolutionary path and then spread it. Goddess of Wisdom. Lin Yuan actively connected to the Goddess of Wisdom. Respected Level 5 Citizen Lin Yuan, the Goddess of Wisdom is pleased to serve you. The solemn and chilly voice of the Goddess of Wisdom came through. I need to update the Martial Path Evolutionary Path. Lin Yuan spoke. Lin Yuan had not yet created the 6th ranked chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, so it was somewhat inaccurate to say he was uploading. It was merely a refinement of the previously existing 2nd layer chapter, 3rd ranked chapter, 4th rank chapter, and 5th rank section, so it was more appropriate to refer to it as an update. Afterwards, Lin Yuan then synchronized the refined martial path evolutionary path to the Goddess of Wisdom in its entirety. Just after the Goddess of Wisdom received the martial path evolutionary path, in a mysterious space far away from the Qikuan main star, massive screens flickered rapidly, crazily analyzing and deducing the latest martial path evolutionary path. This evolutionary path is likely to advance to the 8th layer, re-evaluation beginning, preliminary evaluation. The latest martial path evolutionary path significantly reduces the training threshold and increases ultimate potential. Beginning in-depth evaluation. In-depth evaluation. Starting from the 2nd layer chapter, the difficulty of training shows a significant downward trend, analyzing reasons. This evolutionary path incorporates various energies into the system. In-depth evaluation. The fusion of different energies will produce unforeseen variables, which could be worse or better. In-depth evaluation. Evaluation of martial path evolutionary path enhanced, overall potential increased. In-depth evaluation. The creator of this evolutionary path, personal security level risen, reached 9-star level. Contacting the Goddess of Freedom, Goddess of Justice, re-evaluation starting. Qikuan main star. At the central plaza. Heiyu Mo's expression remained unchanged, but inside he was growing anxious. What does this 13-peak master mean? I've mentioned offering treasures, yet he won't even meet with me. Heiyu Mo's eyebrows twitched. He regarded his actions as flawless, coming here to apologize and seeking an audience with the 13 Peaks master. Everything was logical and legitimate. He couldn't find any fault. Even if the 13 Peaks master didn't forgive him, he ought to at least meet with him once to inquire what treasures were offered, right? But now, his self-abasing plea had not received any response at all. If I wait any longer, the 13 Peaks master may complete the integration of the life brand. Heiyu Mo steadied his spirit and suppressed the restlessness in his heart. If the 13 Peaks master successfully integrates the life brand, even if Heiyu Mo successfully kills him, he would be smoothly resurrected later on. Indeed, that evolver from the insect race had said, regardless of whether he could utterly destroy the 13 Peaks master, his clan and race would receive sufficient favor and corresponding resource allocation. But utterly destroying the 13 Peaks master versus not achieving an utter destruction or not killing at all, would definitely affect the final treatment of his race. Since he would die in the aftermath no matter what, Heiyu Mo naturally hoped his death would be worthwhile. No rush. Take your time. I now must not reveal any abnormality. Heiyu Mo knew, being in the Red Kuan lineage, he was being watched by countless eyes. He had to maintain a demeanor befitting his status. I don't believe the 13 Peaks master won't come out. Heiyu Mo took a deep breath. Estimating the time, the 13 Peaks master must have completed the integration of the life brand by now. Heiyu Mo knew, the chance to utterly destroy the 13 Peaks master was no longer substantial. Now he could only consider killing the 13 Peaks master, and even if he was resurrected by the human race's supreme being later, it would be many years later. And for the human race to resurrect the 13 Peaks master, a huge price would need to be paid. The evolver from the insect race had tasked Heiyu Mo with the assassination, risking his life. And Heiyu Mo never considered making the supreme being of the insect race resurrect him. Because the insect race would likely never agree. Even if the insect race agreed, Heiyu Mo wouldn't believe it. At the palace atop the 13 Peaks. Lin Yuan waited for a while and, finding that the Goddess of Wisdom was still evaluating the martial path evolutionary path, he connected his consciousness to the virtual world and entered his personal space. Lin Yuan glanced at the visitor request list. The list was densely packed. At a rough count, there were at least tens of thousands of citizens wishing to visit him. And this number was increasing every moment. The identity of the 13 Peaks Master indeed attracts too much attention. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly, setting the visitor filter to 6th rank evolvers, or his own relatives and friends. Suddenly, the visitor list cleared out. Mom and Dad left me a message. Lin Yuan scanned the message list. The so-called messages were not call requests and wouldn't disturb Lin Yuan. Chapter 232 Star Domain Rankings. Please subscribe _2. It's time we met. Lin Yuan invited his parents and sister into his personal space. In less than a moment, Lin Shouqing, Lu Qiong, and Lin Yi appeared in the personal space. Brother, Lin Yi looked at Lin Yuan with admiration. Now standing before her was not just her brother, but the peak master of Shursan, whose countless fans throughout the Qikuan star domain yearned for a glimpse. Xiao Yuan, these few days you spent on the Qikuan main star, Kanglan star was celebrating like it was a festival. Governor Song personally made an appearance, congratulating you on becoming the peak master of Shursan alongside all the citizens. Numerous corporate enterprises even spent vast amounts of money to hang a huge banner outside the planet, Lu Qiong said with a smile. Lin Yuan smiled silently. Becoming the peak master of Shursan had indeed had a profound impact on Kanglan Star. Without mentioning the many other benefits, let me point out one. From now on, Kanglan Star might become the must-visit holy land of the entire Qikuan star domain. Every year, countless tourists from major star domains will specifically visit Kanglan Star to witness the planet where the peak master of Shursan once resided. Just from tourism revenue alone, Kanglan Star could probably earn a fortune. Therefore, all of Kanglan Star, from top to bottom, owes Lin Yuan gratitude. Xiao Yuan, Lin Shouqing was overjoyed. Our Lin family has truly honored our ancestors. This is not just any honoring of ancestors. I don't know how many good deeds I did in my past life. The ancients say, when one man attains the Tao, his pets ascend to heaven. In our case, it's more than ascending to heaven. Those big shots are nearly kneeling at our doorstep. In these past few days, Lin Shouqing had felt deeply moved. Previously, Lin Yuan was known as the champion of the arena competition. But in the eyes of Kanglan Star's top decision-makers, he was at most given extra attention, as they valued only Lin Yuan himself. However, now, these big shots treated their family even more warmly and respectfully than their own parents. Lin Yuan listened with a smile as his parents and sister shared their feelings. As the peak master of Shursan, his power and influence within the Qikuan star domain were terrifying. Not just the corporate forces of Kanglan Star, but even one of the 5 great forces of the star domain like the Heiyu family had to try everything to curry his favor. And Lin Yuan's family members were certainly being showered with various praises. By the way, Xiao Yuan, as if recalling something, Lu Qiong pulled out a list and said, Governor Song gave me a list to give to you. It contains the names of people who cursed you online during the Heiyu family incident. In this era of interstellar civilization, every citizen enjoys the freedom of speech. But this freedom of speech is on the condition that it does not harm other citizens. Online insults, strictly speaking, can be pursued by the insulted party. Punish the few ringleaders, and let the rest go. Lin Yuan looked at the list and said casually. Given the pressure exerted by the Heiyu family at that time and their guidance of public opinion, countless citizens had been led astray. If all were pursued, perhaps 1/10 of Kanglan Star's citizens would be unfortunate. After chatting with his family, Lin Yuan disconnected the virtual world connection. Should be about settled now, right? Lin Yuan waited for the response from the goddess of wisdom. A moment later, the solemn voice of the goddess of wisdom transmitted. Respected 5th-rank citizen Lin Yuan, according to the final verdict, the updated martial path evolutionary path you've provided has significantly lowered its threshold and greatly enhanced its potential. Apart from the original value of the evolutionary path, you will be awarded an additional 500,000 merit points. 500,000 merit points. Lin Yuan was somewhat surprised. This time he had only updated the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, without uploading subsequent content for the Martial Path Evolutionary Path. He originally thought that an award of 1 or 200,000 merit points would suffice, so 500,000 merit points were unexpected. To know, even combining the first-tier chapter to the 5th-ranked chapter of the previous Martial Path Evolutionary Path wouldn't even come close to 500,000 merit points. The probability of advancing to the 6th rank is 95%. The probability of advancing to the 7th rank is 30%, and the probability of advancing to the 8th layer evolution path is 10%. Lin Yuan also glanced at the latest information on the Martial Path Evolutionary Path. The probability of advancing to the 6th rank evolution path has not changed, still at 95%. Lin Yuan slightly nodded, feeling nothing strange. A 95% chance of advancing to the 6th rank represented a very high probability, as most 5th rank evolution paths have only a 30 to 40% chance of advancing to the 6th rank. Over 50% is considered extremely good, let alone 95%. The chance for advancing to the 7th rank has increased by 10%, and the chance for advancing to the 8th layer has increased by 5%. Lin Yuan speculated that the increase in the probability of advancing to the 7th and 8th ranks was entirely due to the integration of various energy systems, which induced a kind of transformation and sublimation to the entire martial arts evolution system. Let's take a look at the latest rankings of the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path. Lin Yuan continued to check the updated information of the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path, looking at the rankings column. First in the Kanglan Evolution ranking, 12th in the Qikuan Evolution rankings. Lin Yuan's expression changed slightly. If he remembered correctly, weren't the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path previously ranked 53rd in the Qikuan Evolution rankings? 12th, Lin Yuan let out a sigh of relief. Ordinary evolvers might not understand what this meant. But as the peak master of Shursan, Lin Yuan naturally knew what it meant to be ranked in the top 50 on the Qikuan Evolution rankings. The Qikuan Evolution rankings were divided into 2 levels. The top 50. The bottom 50. The evolution paths in the top 50 were all 7th or 8th rank evolution pathways. As for the bottom 50, there were 7th rank evolution pathways and 6th rank evolution pathways. It was already unthinkable for the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path to previously make it to the 53rd place in the Qikuan Evolution rankings with a 5th rank evolution pathway. After all, from 50th to 100th place in the Qikuan Evolution rankings were either 6th or 7th rank evolution pathways. But now, the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path had actually made it into the top 50. And it was a prominent position in the top 50, 12th place. Keep in mind the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path was still a 5th rank evolution pathway. A mere 5th rank evolution pathway had broken into a ranking dominated by 7th and 8th rank evolution pathways. Qikuan Prime Virtual World. Central Plaza area. Many evolvers and high-ranking citizens had gathered. In pairs and small groups, they talked quietly. Even though more than a year had passed, the main topic among the many evolvers on the plaza was still the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path. There was no choice. The Martial Tao Evolutionary Path was too exaggerated, too unique. The top 100 evolution paths of the Qikuan Evolution rankings were 6th, 7th, and 8th rank evolution pathways. The only one mixed in was a 5th rank evolution pathway. It inevitably drew a second glance. I bet that once the 6th ranked chapter of the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path is uploaded, its ranking will definitely rise again, breaking into the top 50. Nonsense, now the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path is already in the top 53. Once the 6th ranked chapter is uploaded, the overall rank will rise. As long as the 6th ranked chapter performs steadily, it could probably break into the top 30 or 20. All the evolution paths in the top 50 of the Qikuan Evolution rankings are 7th or 8th rank evolution pathways. If the Martial Tao Evolutionary Path can break into it with a 6th rank evolution pathway, TSK. The many evolvers talked rapidly among themselves. Just then, the Chikuin evolution rankings began to refresh. The 100 evolution paths on the ranking board simultaneously blurred. All the evolvers in the plaza stared at the evolution rankings full of anticipation. Several breaths later, the Chikuin evolution rankings refresh was complete. Damn it! The Martial Tao evolutionary path has broken into the top 50. Not just the top 50, it's the 12th place. Almost broke into the top 10. What's going on? I thought after uploading the 6th rank chapter, it could about make it into the top 20 or 30. It seems I still underestimated the scholar who developed this evolution path. Let me see what is so exquisite about the 6th ranked chapter of the Martial Tao evolutionary path that it allowed the Martial Tao evolutionary path to rise from 53rd to 12th place. Countless evolvers, filled with anticipation and excitement, went to the purchasing interface of the Martial Tao evolutionary path, looking to buy the 6th ranked chapter. Immediately, everyone discovered a horrifying scene. Martial Tao evolutionary path did not have a 6th ranked chapter. Chapter 233 beginning the 5th shuttle, end of this volume, please subscribe. What's going on? Where's the 6th ranked chapter? Where is the 6th ranked chapter of my Martial Path evolutionary path? Has the virtual world not updated? Or is it a network problem? Countless evolvers were in an uproar. In everyone's view, for the Martial Path evolutionary path to leap forward by more than 40 ranks from the original 53rd to the 12th, the only possibility was the upload of the 6th ranked chapter. Without the enhancement of the 6th ranked chapter, how could the Martial Path evolutionary path break into the 12th position on the Chikuin evolution rankings? In fact, even if the Martial Path evolutionary path had uploaded the 6th ranked chapter, such a rapid rise in the rankings was incredible. However, incredible as it may be, it is understandable. After all, with an additional 6th ranked chapter, the Martial Path evolutionary path was truly a 6th rank evolution path, and such potential for improvement, when thought through carefully, does make sense. But now, without the 6th ranked chapter. Without the 6th ranked chapter, how did we break into the 12th rank? Many evolvers initially thought it was a delay in the virtual world update, or a network latency in their area. That's what caused them not to see the 6th ranked chapter. However, after communicating and finding that others also hadn't seen the 6th ranked chapter, they were stunned. If it was just one or two evolvers who hadn't discovered the 6th ranked chapter, it might have been due to other factors, an isolated case, or perhaps network latency. But if no one has seen the 6th ranked chapter, then there's only one possibility. That is that the Martial Path evolutionary path doesn't have a 6th ranked chapter. But this possibility leads to another astonishing fact. How did the Martial Path evolutionary path, without a 6th ranked chapter, break into the 12th spot on the Chikuin evolution rankings? If you say that the Martial Path evolutionary path, with only up to the 5th rank, entered the 53rd spot on the Chikuin evolution rankings, it's like mixing an elementary student among a group of college students. Extremely conspicuous. Then still only with 5th rank, the Martial Path evolutionary path broke into the top 50, into the 12th position. It's akin to an infant with a pacifier mixing among a group of PhDs. How the hell is that possible? What on earth is going on? Without uploading the 6th ranked chapter, how is the Martial Path evolutionary path now 12th? It seems like the Martial Path evolutionary path has changed a bit. The word count of the 2nd layer chapter to the 5th stage section has been modified. It's normal for there to be modifications. The evolution paths on the ranking list aren't set in stone. Occasionally there are some changes, but that still doesn't explain how the Martial Path evolutionary path became 12th. Maybe the reason lies within the modified content. Many evolvers and high-level citizens began to notice that the content they had purchased from the 2nd layer chapter to the 5th stage section had changed. So everyone subconsciously started to review it. How is this possible? The martial path evolutionary path can incorporate any energy system. It's too incredible, no wonder there was such a significant climb in the rankings, the qualitative change. It boosts the potential of the martial path evolutionary path. A 6th rank evolver's expression changed slightly. With his insight, he could just make out the impact of the changes to the martial path evolutionary path. If the martial path evolutionary path was no longer limited to Tai Yin and Tai Yang, then the many evolvers of human civilization following the martial path evolutionary path would benefit, able to follow the paths they were proficient in. This could be a qualitative breakthrough in the chances of producing higher rank evolvers. No wonder the martial path evolutionary path, before uploading the 6th rank, was able to break into the top 12 on the Chikuan evolution rankings. No wonder the great scholar who established the martial path evolutionary path would personally update the path. Because this is extremely important for martial arts evolutionaries. Truly worthy of being an evolution scholar, to have expanded the martial path evolutionary path to such heights. No good, previously I was only vaguely aware of Tai Yin and Tai Yang, which is why I didn't follow the martial path evolutionary path. Now, I don't need to grasp Tai Yin and Tai Yang, the martial path evolutionary path can still be cultivated, so I need to switch evolution paths. Me too, this is the masterpiece of some evolution scholar. After all, there's definitely no mistake in following it for cultivation. Many evolvers left the Central Plaza area, clearly intending to pass the news on to their backing family powers. Chikuan Main Star, Palace at the peak of the 13 peaks. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. 500,000 merit points. It's enough for a promotion to a level 6 citizen. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The perfected martial path evolutionary path had been rewarded with an enormous sum of 500,000 merit points by the Goddess of Wisdom. You should know that there are only a few ways to acquire merit points. Without exception, they are awarded for making contributions to human civilization. Other than founding a complete and new evolution path like Lin Yuan, or developing other technologies beneficial to human civilization, the main channel is to go to the battlefields of different races to kill alien beings and exchange for merit points. According to Lin Yuan's knowledge, killing alien strong ones would grant corresponding amounts of merit points. A 6th rank alien race strongman is worth 1,000 merit points. A 7th rank alien race strongman is worth between 10,000 and 100,000 merit points. An 8th rank alien race is worth over 1,000,000 merit points. The 500,000 merit points that Lin Yuan had received was equivalent to half an 8th rank alien race strongman. Or perhaps dozens of 7th rank alien race strong ones. Of course, killing alien strong ones is just one way to obtain merit points. On the battlefields of different races, if one could lead an army of evolvers to victory in local warfare against the alien races. Chapter 234 Starting the 5th Shuttle, end of this volume, please subscribe, _2. Even without killing an alien strong one can still obtain the corresponding merit points. It's too dangerous, Lin Yuan slightly shook his head. On the battlefields of different races, earning merit points sounds easy. Killing a 6th rank alien strong one can earn you 1,000 points. But in reality, a 6th rank alien won't just wait for you to kill them. It requires evolvers to risk their lives. A 6th rank evolver, wanting to kill a 6th rank alien strong one, really needs to pay a great price, and that alien strong one isn't a fool either. If they know they are outmatched, they will flee. Defeating a 6th rank alien is easy. Killing them is difficult. And alien strong ones often do not come alone, but in clusters. In such situations, killing them is really difficult. It is the same with all 6th rank aliens. Not to mention the 7th and 8th ranks. Thousands of years ago, the Chikuan Star Lord, enraged by the assassination of a disciple, went on a killing spree on the alien battlefields. But most of those he killed were aliens below the 6th rank. Basically cannon fodder. The truly powerful aliens had fled early. And after a while, the Chikuan Star Lord was blocked by alien strong ones of the same rank. All the alien strong ones capable of stalemating with human civilization, close in power to the insect race notwithstanding, are extremely powerful. Upgrade to a 6th rank citizen, Lin Yuan thought to himself. His citizenship rank instantly upgraded from 5th rank to 6th rank. From 5th rank citizen to 6th rank citizen, it requires 500,000 merit points, which Lin Yuan had already saved by perfecting the martial path evolutionary path. Moments later, Lin Yuan successfully became a 6th rank citizen. At the same time, an email from the Human Civilization Alliance was sent to Lin Yuan's inbox. The email content generally introduced some of the many privileges of a 6th rank citizen. Most privileges of a 6th rank citizen are advanced versions of those of a 5th rank citizen. Besides, a 6th rank citizen, compared to a 5th rank citizen, has an additional benefit, a certain privilege. The benefit being that upon promotion to a 6th rank citizen, one will receive a bottle of evolution elixir issued by human civilization. 6th rank evolution elixir. The function of this evolution elixir is to forcibly elevate an evolver's physical body and soul to the 6th rank level. Of course, only the physical body and soul are enhanced. As for the comprehension of rules and the understanding of evolutionary paths, those will not change, as they cannot be improved by external means. This benefit exists specifically for scientists and developers who aren't skilled in the paths of evolution. These scientists and developers might have made significant contributions to human civilization but lack evolutionary talent, being only 2nd or 3rd rank evolvers. And taking gene elixirs and the like carries the risk of death. So, once the level of citizenship reaches the 6th rank, one can obtain the 6th rank evolution elixir. The 6th rank evolution elixir, when taken, carries no risks, and the physical body and soul perfectly transform. Of course, human civilization grants such a benefit to 6th rank citizens primarily to enable them to live thousands to tens of thousands more years. To continue contributing to human civilization. 6th rank evolution elixir, Lin Yuan looked astonished. Such a rare treasure that can elevate an ordinary person to the status of 6th rank evolver in one stride is obviously priceless. At least Lin Yuan hadn't seen such a product on the market app when he was a 5th rank citizen, clearly not having sufficient privileges. However, evolvers who step into the 6th rank by taking the 6th rank evolution elixir are estimated to be at the lowest end of the 6th rank combat power, Lin Yuan was aware. The combat power of 6th rank evolvers is composed of multiple aspects. One is the basic strength of a 6th rank level. Another is mastery of the secret techniques they wield. Third is the degree of perception of rules. And fourth is the strength of their own cultivation evolutionary path. Evolvers who took the 6th rank evolution elixir possess only the basic strength of the 6th rank. The second privilege, or eligibility, of a 6th rank citizen is to participate in the Star Alliance conference held once every century. The so-called Star Alliance is an alliance formed of multiple star domains. Currently, the Chikuan Star Domain is part of the Annan Star Alliance. And the Star Alliance conference is initiated by the official Annan Star Alliance, with only the 6th rank citizens and above eligible to participate. At the Star Alliance conference, all participating citizens can propose their suggestions. The scale of these suggestions can vary greatly. On a small scale, it concerns individual benefits. For instance, a 6th rank citizen might suggest they lack a personal battleship and therefore apply to the Annan Star Alliance. The Annan Star Alliance will most likely allocate a battleship to this 6th rank citizen. On a large scale, it involves altering certain laws within the Annan Star Alliance, such as a 6th rank citizen who feels that the death penalty isn't humane and wants to abolish it. The Annan Star Alliance will consider this suggestion and eventually respond with approval, rejection, or reservation. Of course, the laws here solely refer to those internal to the Star Alliance. As for the charter laws enacted by the Cosmic Human Alliance, they are beyond what a sixth-rank citizen can question. Star Alliance Conference. Lin Yuan pondered. This conference symbolizes the supreme power of a Star Alliance, and only sixth-rank citizens who have made significant contributions to human civilization are qualified to participate. After carefully reviewing the many privileges of sixth-rank citizens, Lin Yuan stood up and walked out of the palace. "Take me to see the teacher." Lin Yuan glanced at the supervisor outside the palace. "Yes, Peak Master, please follow me." The supervisor, showing great respect, led Lin Yuan towards the largest central mountain. "I've seen the teacher, inside the Crimson Palace." Now that the dog had dared to bite its master, it could no longer be kept. "Thank you, my fellow senior brothers," Lin Yuan said earnestly. "What's there to thank for? We are brothers. In the future, we must support each other," they responded. "Yes, this is trivial," the 12 senior martial brothers said with a chuckle. Half a day later, Lin Yuan returned to the palace where he had been in seclusion. "Everything is pretty much taken care of. I can proceed with the traversal." Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts, his consciousness sinking into his mind, arriving in front of the grand and magnificent door to the myriad realms. "Let's first have a look at some information on this traversal." Lin Yuan allowed a sliver of consciousness to merge into the door to the myriad realms. In a daze, Lin Yuan found himself before a colossal, boundless world. This world, in a flash of astonishment, Lin Yuan saw an immortal mountain shrouded in immortal qi, a wasteland enveloped in ghostly energy, and a massive nest deep in demonic power. This world, outside the door to the myriad realms, Lin Yuan's expression was grave. Through the slight touch of his consciousness, he knew that this traversal would grant him a stay of 500 years in the other world, with the passage of time in the main world amounting to roughly 3 to 4 months. "Let us begin." Lin Yuan's consciousness returned, and after some minor preparations, he announced he was entering seclusion. Finally, he once again faced the door to the myriad realms. With a slight thought, the door emitted a sucking force, drawing Lin Yuan's consciousness into it. Chapter 236 Dowd Immortal Sect. Please subscribe. Name: Lin Yuan, Jun Wuji. Identity: holder of the Myriad Realms Gate. Bonded talent: against heaven's understanding. Current state: consciousness descent. Remaining residency time: 500 years. The clouds and mist were ethereal. Immortal qi twined around. A somewhat frail-looking youth lay on a recliner, with 2 maidservants gently massaging him by his side. "I didn't expect this consciousness descent to be with such an identity," the frail youth, who was Lin Yuan, discreetly took in his surroundings. The maidens who were massaging him appeared to be soft and weak, but Lin Yuan could vaguely feel a subtle spiritual pressure emanating from them. Golden Core Realm female cultivators. Lin Yuan closed his eyes and rubbed his brow. Through the memories of the original body, Lin Yuan understood that this time he had traveled to a world of immortal Tao. To say it was a world of immortal Tao wasn't quite accurate, it was more like a large world dominated by the immortal path. "My father, he is the disciple with the highest talent in this generation of the Dowd Immortal Sect, having mutated heavenly spiritual root aptitude and is being nurtured as the next immortal sect leader. My mother is the daughter of the immortal sect leader of the Dowd Immortal Sect, a beloved gem adored like the moon by all the stars. My maternal grandfather is the 30th generation sect leader of the Dowd Immortal Sect, an ancient saint of the refinement void who suppresses the entire divine continent, and whose strength ranks among the top 3 in the immortal sect's history. My elder brother also has heavenly spiritual root aptitude and is expected to reach the divinity transformation stage in the future. My second sister has mutated earth spiritual root. With the support of the sect's resources, there is also a great possibility for her to enter the divinity transformation stage. As for me, am I just a waste without any spirit root aptitude?" Lin Yuan thought to himself. In this world, spirit roots are crucial. they act as the bridge that communicates between the heavens and the earth. Spirit roots are categorized as heavenly spiritual root, earth spiritual root, dual spiritual roots, triple spiritual roots, quadruple spiritual roots, and quintuple spiritual roots. The quintuple spiritual roots are also known as waste spiritual roots. With Lin Yuan's background, even if he had such a waste spiritual root as the quintuple spiritual roots, he would still be able to become a foundation establishment practitioner, or even a golden core cultivator, with the support of bountiful resources. But he had no spirit root aptitude at all. Without a spirit root, one cannot absorb spiritual energy from nature. Even if one forcibly entered the chi refining and foundation building stages with the aid of resources, they would rapidly lose their cultivation and eventually fall back to being immortal. It was like a bamboo basket, no matter how much water it held. It was of no use, it would all leak out swiftly. Efforts were in vain, like drawing water with a bamboo basket. Nature's spiritual energy. Lin Yuan carefully felt it for a moment. He discovered that this world was filled with strands and wisps of clear and pure energy. Although far from comparable to the scarlet spirit liquid of the red Kuan lineage in the main world, it was abundant and ubiquitous. What a pity, Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Without a spirit root, you can't even touch nature's spiritual energy. Lin Yuan couldn't even feel it. The only reason he could sense the spiritual energy was due to his powerful perception brought about by the descent of his consciousness. Young master, are you all right? As Lin Yuan pondered, the two maidservants by his side asked with concern. I'm fine. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Although he was a talentless waste, his status as the third-generation descendant of immortals was still there. Even the maidservants who served him were in the golden core stage. One must know, in the outside world, golden core cultivators are considered significant figures and female golden core cultivators are highly sought after. Yet at the moment, the high and mighty female golden core cultivators were merely maidservants for Lin Yuan. If Lin Yuan wished, they were ready to warm his bed at any time. You may leave for now. Lin Yuan waved his hand. Yes. The two maidservants nodded and respectfully withdrew. Lin Yuan watched the two women leave. These two golden core stage maidservants were arranged by Lin Yuan's mother, not only to serve Lin Yuan but also as a protective measure. This world, a look of contemplation crossed Lin Yuan's face. This world, boundless and vast, with the Taoed immortal sect occupying the resource-rich central divine continent, boasted the strongest power, producing an ancient saint of refinement void generation after generation. Beyond the central divine continent, to the west were the lands inhabited by barbaric demon beasts. These transformative great demons coveted the divine continent and time after time were suppressed by the Taoed immortal sect. To the south of the central divine continent was the territory of the ghost cultivators of the netherworld. Its eerie and ghostly mist made it unsuitable for regular cultivators to stay for extended periods. To the north of the central divine continent were the devil cultivators, the strongest among them known as the blood demon, who cultivated the sea of blood demonic scripture with a claim that until the sea of blood dries up, they cannot die. Taoed immortal sect, barbaric demon beasts, ghost cultivators of the netherworld, devil cultivators to the north, these are the four main powers, and to the east are the overseas islands, where it is said that some followers of the left paths have taken root, but they haven't formed a significant presence. Without a doubt, among the many powers, the Taoed immortal sect is unquestionably the strongest. With the power of one sect, it monopolizes the most resource-rich central divine continent, driving the other three major powers to the margins. Lin Yuan silently thought. Through his memories, Lin Yuan knew that though the Taoed immortal sect claimed morality, their actions were exceedingly domineering. The central divine continent originally had other major immortal sects besides the Taoed immortal sect, but in the end, all were eradicated by the Taoed immortal sect. Eventually, the entire central divine continent was enjoyed solely by the Taoed immortal sect. No matter what world it is, strength determines everything. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The human civilization alliance in the main world is constantly expanding, engaging in battles with different species, seizing many star systems. Their actions were not unlike the Daoed Immortal sects. With 500 years of residency time, I can take it slow. Lin Yuan glanced at the remaining residency time and breathed a sigh of relief. This place isn't the Daoed Immortal sect. Lin Yuan rose to his feet. Where he was now was a paradise away from the mortal world, abundant in spiritual energy, but compared with the magnificent presence of the Daoed Immortal Mountain from his memory, it naturally fell short. Chapter 237 Daoed Immortal Sect, please subscribe, _2. So he couldn't withstand the blow and actively asked his parents to send him away from Mount Morality Immortal. Lin Yuan immediately found the reason from his memories. The original body couldn't practice cultivation, yet with a prominent ancestral background, none of the true disciples or sequenced disciples of the Daoed Immortal sect dared to bully him. However, living within the Daoed Immortal sect and facing those disciples flying back and forth every day, he couldn't help but feel depressed. In front of him, disciples of the Immortal sect who bowed and scraped held strengths and means that far exceeded his own. Under such extreme contrasts over a long time, Jun Wuji simply had his parents send him away. The reason Mount Morality Immortal was called Immortal Mountain was because its spiritual energy was so abundant it nearly took physical form. Practicing cultivation there had immeasurable benefits for any cultivator. But Jun Wuji didn't need any spiritual energy. Without a spirit root, no amount of spiritual energy was of use. Therefore, Mount Morality Immortal wasn't as important to Jun Wuji as one might imagine. This is good too. Lin Yuan nodded slightly, quite satisfied. If he were still at Mount Morality Immortal, under the watchful eyes of an ancient saint of refinement void, Lin Yuan would have to be very cautious at first. The ancient saint of refinement void was one of the strongest existences in this realm, capable of plucking stars and seizing the moon with the flick of a wrist. In the hierarchy of the main world, he was equivalent to a 6th-rank evolver. Moreover, the founding artifact of the Immortal sect wielded destructive powers capable of annihilating heavens and earth. An ancient saint of refinement void in possession of the sect's founding artifact was an invincible existence. This was why the Daoed Immortal sect could occupy the central divine continent, so long as there was no break in the lineage of ancient saints. It was the most formidable force of the current era, without equal. This must be Cloud Mist Blessed Land, right? Lin Yuan observed carefully. Although the original body couldn't cultivate, he still had some understanding of the common knowledge in the cultivation world. In the central divine continent, there are 72 caves and 108 blessed lands. They are second only to Mount Morality Immortal, the top-tier cultivation sites. Among them, Cloud Mist Blessed Land is one of the 108 blessed lands, its nature's spiritual energy so rich that it can sustain the daily practice and breakthroughs of nascent soul cultivators. Unwilling to stay at Mount Morality Immortal any longer, Jun Wuji's parents cleared out one of the 108 blessed lands, Cloud Mist Blessed Land, for him to live in, evidently doting greatly on their son. Cloud Mist Blessed Land was close to Mount Morality Immortal, so in case something happened, the cultivators of the Immortal sect could quickly come to aid. Family love. Jun Wuji had a good relationship with his parents, his elder brother, and younger sister. Even the grandfather of the Immortal sect leader had seen him more than once. If Jun Wuji had spirit root talent, by all accounts, his future should be boundless. Alas, there are no ifs. In the central divine continent, there are countless treasures and rare materials. But to compensate for a lack of spirit root, or to even create a new one, those are few and far between, each exceedingly rare and significant. Outside Cloud Mist Blessed Land, 2 cultivators, a man and a woman shrouded in mist, stood silently overlooking the blessed land below. Wuji, the female cultivator, looking downhearted, gazed at Jun Wuji inside the blessed land and murmured to herself. Lianer, don't be sad. Wuji doesn't have a spirit root, and there's nothing we can do about it. The male cultivator beside her whispered gently. Normally, spirit roots are passed down through bloodlines. If the parents possess spirit roots, the likelihood of the next generation having them is greatly increased. But nothing is absolute. There are still cases where parents with high-quality spirit roots give birth to offspring with only third or fourth-class roots. However, cases like Jun Wuji's, where both parents are of the heavenly spiritual root, yet the son is born without any spirit root talent, are rare. Just like Jun Wuji's elder brother and younger sister, one with heavenly spiritual root and the other with a mutated earth spirit root, that's more common. I will ask Father to take out 9 heavens glazed water for Wuji to consume, the female cultivator said. 9 heavens glazed water, a treasure of the central divine continent, is said to possess the effect of rebirthing spirit roots, even in Immortal. Of course, no mortal has ever consumed 9 heavens glazed water. Who would let mortals consume something so precious when even the ancient saints would act decisively for it? Lianer. Don't ever mention this in front of the sect master. 9 heavens glazed water is the main ingredient for crafting the ancient void elixir. And the ancient void elixir is crucial for the breakthrough from divinity transformation to the refining void ancient saint layer. Our Dowd Immortal sect absolutely cannot have a break in the lineage of ancient saints. The male cultivator beside her said solemnly. He, too, wanted to help his son. But the 9 heavens glazed water concerned the heritage of the Immortal sect. How could they treat it lightly? Even if it were Jun Wuji, let alone him, without reaching the peak of divinity transformation, he couldn't utilize the 9 heavens glazed water. The Dowd Immortal sect could only collect a thread of 9 heavens glazed water every 10,000 years, just enough to craft an ancient void elixir. The female cultivator fell silent. She understood this, too. But seeing her own son so despondent, it was hard for her heart not to ache. If he cannot grow into a towering tree, what we can do, the male cultivator sighed lightly, is to let him live out his life peacefully and quietly. Cloud mist blessed land. Lin Yuan glanced in a certain direction. Finally gone, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Ever since his consciousness had descended, he had faintly sensed some kind of spying sensation. This sense of being watched carried no malice or intent to kill. It was probably his parents who had just brought him here. What am I now, exactly? Seizure. Or reincarnation? Lin Yuan picked up the jade teacup beside him and gently took a sip. The tea, turning into streams of spiritual energy as it entered his throat, nourished Lin Yuan's physical body. As expected of the 3rd generation of immortals, such immortal tea, if placed outside, would probably cause a group of golden core stage cultivators to fight over it, right? Lin Yuan took a few more sips. It shouldn't be considered seizure, Lin Yuan concluded in his mind. The essence of seizure was the soul of the Caesar taking over the physical body of the seized. But now, Jun Wuji's physical soul remained unchanged, it was just the consciousness that had been replaced by Lin Yuan. Besides, seizure was not unheard of in this world. If Lin Yuan had seized Jun Wuji, the parents who had already stepped into the nascent soul stage would have noticed. Even just the 2 golden core stage maidservants attending him would have been able to sense it. Perhaps my consciousness was cast into this world long ago, and I only awakened my memories now after encountering the confusion within the womb. Lin Yuan pondered. This could also explain why every time he transitioned, the time he regained consciousness differed. Forget it, these things are not important, Lin Yuan shook his head. Whether it was reincarnation or consciousness descent. After all, he is now Jun Wuji. The cultivation system of this world primarily revolves around the immortal path, with other paths such as those of demonic beasts, the ghost path, and the demonic Tao. They are all essentially similar. Although Jun Wuji lacked a spirit root, he had tried many cultivation methods, covering a broad range, and that's why Lin Yuan was now clear about it. While thinking, Lin Yuan made his way to the deepest part of the cloud mist blessed land. This place was the core of the entire blessed land and also the location with the most abundant spiritual energy. Staying in such an environment for a long time, even an ordinary person would benefit with longevity. "I'm going to rest, no need to pay attention to me," Lin Yuan suddenly spoke. "Yes," two female voices responded from outside, belonging to Lin Yuan's two golden core stage maidservants. Chunhua. Chuyue. As Lin Yuan's maidservants and bodyguards, Chunhua and Chuyue were always focusing their divine sense on Lin Yuan, to prevent any accidents. The comment Lin Yuan just made was to have Chunhua and Chuyue withdraw their divine sense. This was also a habit of the original Jun Wuji. Although he was an ordinary person, he did not like being shrouded in divine sense, even though he couldn't feel the shroud of divine sense at all. Sensing that Chunhua and Qi's divine sense had left, Lin Yuan's thoughts stirred, and he took out several array discs. He then inserted spirit stones and activated them directly. Suddenly, a hazy, illusory barrier enveloped the surroundings. This array disc could block the probing of cultivator's divine sense, even when facing a nascent soul or divinity transformation stage cultivator. It wouldn't block them but would give an early warning instead. Of course, Lin Yuan was not relying solely on these external items. Array discs or any other methods were all things Lin Yuan placed out in the open for others to see. His true reliance lay in his senses as a 6th rank evolver. The perception of a 6th rank evolver was equivalent to the refining void ancient saint layer, so even the sect master of the Taoed Immortal sect probing Lin Yuan with divine sense in secret would be immediately detected. That should do it. Having done all this, Lin Yuan let out a slight breath of relief. Next, what he needed to do was to cultivate and recover his full strength as much as possible. Without strength, even with an unapproachable background and no one daring to offend, Lin Yuan would feel insecure. Chapter 238 20 years later, please subscribe. This world's cultivation system, from weak to strong, is divided into Qi refinement, foundation establishment, golden core, nascent soul, divinity transformation, refined void. Lin Yuan had no spirit root and could not inhale and exhale the nature's spiritual energy. Naturally, he could not follow the immortal cultivation system. But for the martial Tao cultivation system, having a spirit root was not necessary. The martial Tao cultivation system established by Lin Yuan had a low threshold, especially for someone like him who had evolved the martial Tao to the 6th rank. It was a piece of cake. Exhale. Inhale. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Internal energy circulated within him. A moment later, Lin Yuan opened his eyes and took out a bottle of elixirs. He poured out a pellet and swallowed it. Once the elixir entered his body, it immediately transformed into a raging flow of blood energy, continuously forming the inner qi of the early stages of martial Tao. The differences between Immortal Path and the initial stages of martial Tao lay in Immortal Path requiring the refinement of the essence of nature into one's own internal energy. The essence of nature referred to here is the nature's spiritual energy. Whereas martial Tao involves refining the essence of oneself, transforming one's own internal energy. Efficiency-wise, refining the essence of nature in Immortal Path is naturally faster. After all, nature's spiritual energy is infinite and inexhaustible. Of course, its shortcomings were also very clear. That was being too dependent on nature's spiritual energy. If one were to lose access to that natural energy, or were in a place devoid of it, it's supposed that the immortal cultivation system would be cut off. While the early stages of the martial Tao cultivation system focus on refining one's own essence, no matter in what world, as long as one still possesses vitality, one can cultivate the martial Tao. Moreover, cultivating to deeper levels in martial Tao also enables one to forcibly inhale and exhale the spiritual energy of nature. This so-called spiritual energy of nature is merely a form of energy after all. It's just that cultivators of the immortal path attract spiritual energy with the spirit root within them, whereas martial Tao cultivators forcibly devour it. Half a day later, after consuming dozens of elixirs that enhance vitality, Lin Yuan stepped into the second layer. The second layer of martial Tao is equivalent to the foundation establishment stage of the immortal path. It's about time. Lin Yuan restrained his vitality and concealed the aura of the second layer of martial Tao. In this world, which is a great world of immortal path, if he were to suddenly display previously unseen talents or techniques, even without signs of seizure, it would attract the attention of others, especially with such a profound background. With an external grandfather at the level of an ancient saint of refining void, it's better to be cautious and careful about his actions. Lin Yuan didn't want his abnormal performance to lead his parents to take him to his grandfather for inspection, which might end up with him being kept by this ancient saint. I need to create a secret technique that blocks the detection of divine sense. Lin Yuan fell into contemplation. In the world of immortal Tao, detection techniques are primarily based on divine sense. As long as the detection of divine sense can be obstructed, it essentially means that outsiders would have a hard time actively realizing Lin Yuan's true power. Divine sense, Lin Yuan pondered repeatedly. Divine sense is a certain application of the soul's power. To block the perception of divine sense, one must similarly use the soul's power to prevent it. With Lin Yuan's exceptional talent and having multiple evolution paths from the main world, including those involving the soul, he only took a few days to create a secret technique targeted at the probing of divine sense. This technique, utilizing one's own soul's power, forms a special barrier that instantly assimilates when the divine sense of other cultivators comes probing, thereby achieving the effect of shielding. Not bad, not bad. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. Upon activating this secret technique, in combination with his own realm, unless an ancient saint of refining void came personally and repeatedly inspected Lin Yuan directly, the abnormality could not be discovered. If Lin Yuan could recover to the 4th or 5th rank, even an ancient saint wouldn't be able to discover anything problematic as long as he meticulously checked multiple layers inward and outward. 2 months later, Lin Yuan was in the middle of secluded cultivation. Suddenly, at this moment, the maid Chunhua hurriedly came outside. "Young master, your older brother and second sister have come to see you." "I understand." Lin Yuan stopped his cultivation and went out. The older brother and second sister mentioned by Chunhua were naturally Lin Yuan's older brother and second sister. The three had a good relationship, with the older brother and second sister taking great care of Lin Yuan. Previously, when Lin Yuan was living in Mount Morality Immortal, one of the reasons no one dared to provoke him was not only because of the background of his parents and grandfather, but also because all disciples of Immortal sect who provoked Lin Yuan were somehow beaten up several times by the older brother and second sister. Over time, when disciples of Immortal sect saw Lin Yuan, they couldn't help but tremble, fearing they might be beaten if they made a mistake. After all, if other disciples beat you, you could still reason with them, at worst go to the enforcement hall of the Immortal sect. But if Lin Yuan's older brother and second sister beat you, then you could only swallow your grievances. After all, their background was clear. Would the cultivators of the Immortal sect's enforcement hall dare to truly punish the grandchildren of the ancient saint who were at the sect leader level? Even if the Immortal sect leader emphasized many times that the cultivators of the enforcement hall must act impartially and must not engage in any favoritism, but who would dare to truly be impartial? Little brother. Little brother. Lin Yuan had not yet reached the front hall, when he heard the voices of his older brother and second sister calling him. "Older brother, second sister," Lin Yuan greeted. "Ha ha ha, little brother, you look well. Tell me, who dared to show off in your presence? It'll make him suffer for a year." "A year isn't enough, at least 3 years," said the older brother and second sister with a smile. "Ha ha ha, it's okay, no need for such trouble," Lin Yuan waved his hand. "Wuji, by nature, is not a bad person and doesn't dwell on things. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let his parents send him away willingly. Lin Yuan looked at his older brother and second sister in front of him. The older brother was a tall and burly man with a very approachable smile. It was said that the older brother had metal attribute heavenly spirit root talent and followed the path of a sword cultivator. He was powerful enough to rank among the top 3 of the nascent soul layer in Mount Morality Immortal. Chapter 239 20 years later, please subscribe _2. Every time the barbaric demon beasts from the west caused an uproar, it was always my eldest brother who led the suppression, his hands stained with the blood of countless demon kings. As for my second sister, she possesses a mutated thunder attribute earth spirit root. She appears gentle and reserved, but that is only in front of family members. Outside, my second sister bears the title of the Shinshao Fairy. If little brother says he won't pursue the matter, then it won't be pursued. Those people got off easy. My second-tier eldest brother said with a chuckle. They could tell that Lin Yuan's mood seemed to be pretty good now. Little brother, let me tell you, this cloud mist blessed land is also known as a prolonging life blessed land. Among the 108 blessed lands of the central divine continent, each blessed land has its unique effect, and the cloud mist blessed land's effect is prolonging life. By staying here long-term, and occasionally consuming prolonging life elixirs, even without cultivating, living for hundreds or even 1,000 years is a very likely possibility. My eldest brother said. My second sister nodded in agreement. When our parents cleared the cloud mist blessed land for you to live in, there were quite a few elders in the sect who questioned it. But in the end, father stood his ground against the opposition and secured this cloud mist blessed land. My second sister said. I've caused trouble for our parents. Lin Yuan heaved a sigh. One could imagine the emotions of those elders in the Immortal sect when they heard that one of the distinguished 108 blessed lands, the cloud mist blessed land, was going to be inhabited by a waste with no spirit root. But there was nothing they could do. Lin Yuan might lack a spirit root, but he has a powerful background. Even if others doubted, that was all they could do. They were powerless to make any substantial decisions. This is the privilege of a third generation from a family of immortals. These days, Lin Yuan's spirit was lifted with pleasure. After experiencing the fourth transmigration, the initial 20 years were spent suppressing the darkness of the Great Abyss. This transmigration started at the peak, perfect in every way except for the inability to cultivate. Even the sole drawback of being unable to cultivate was only in the eyes of others. In reality, Lin Yuan could still cultivate, and even make rapid progress. By the way, little brother. Now that you're living here, do you have any needs? Just tell your big brother. After chatting idly for a while, my eldest brother asked. Needs? Lin Yuan thought for a moment. I want to give cultivation another try. I need some immortal path skills, as well as skills related to body cultivation. Lin Yuan said. The reason for such a request was because Lin Yuan wanted to comprehend this world's cultivation system. Without a spirit root, Lin Yuan couldn't embark on the path of immortal cultivation. But that didn't mean he couldn't comprehend and draw inspiration from the immortal cultivation system. Some concepts and ideas from the immortal cultivation system could still provide Lin Yuan with some inspiration. And under the Against Heaven's understanding, these inspirations could amplify insights by tens or even hundreds of times. As for the latter request for body cultivation techniques. Body cultivation is a branch derived from the immortal cultivation system. It focuses solely on forging the physical body. Hence there are no restrictions related to having a spirit root. However, attempting body cultivation requires enduring endless agony, and with a lifespan no different from ordinary people, the original Jun Wuji never really explored this method of cultivation. After all, with his formidable background, Jun Wuji didn't need the limited strength that came from body cultivation. Little brother, my eldest brother and second sister sighed inwardly. They understood that Jun Wuji still hadn't given up on the idea of cultivating. Since ancient times, there has never been a case of someone without a spirit root being able to embark on the path of immortal cultivation. But the once Jun Wuji had always believed that the absence of precedents didn't mean there would be none in the future. Therefore, Jun Wuji often collected various immortal path skills and secret techniques from less orthodox paths to attempt cultivation. My eldest brother, second sister, and our parents all saw this happen. Although they knew Jun Wuji's efforts were unlikely to yield results, everyone didn't have the heart to stop him. Body cultivation skills. Little brother, the path of body cultivation entails great pain, you must be prepared mentally. My eldest brother couldn't help but remind him. For ordinary people, embarking on the path of body cultivation can be justified, as it boosts strength even if it doesn't extend lifespan. But for Jun Wuji, it was rather pointless, almost like a spare rib. After all, the level of Jun Wuji's strength hardly mattered, and he would rarely have the opportunity to take action. I want to see what the principles behind body cultivation techniques are, Lin Yuan stated his reason. In fact, Lin Yuan was curious about the details of how body cultivation techniques tempered the physical body. Generally speaking, no cultivator practices solely body cultivation techniques. They are usually practiced by those who have reached the golden core or nascent soul stage, as a way to enhance their physical strength and increase their ability to protect themselves. No problem, the elder brother nodded. Procedures and steps are required to take out the magical instruments and treasures of the Taoed Immortal sect. But for cultivation techniques and secret techniques, apart from a very small number of them, the rest can be copied onto a jade slip and taken out in any quantity. The three chatted for a while longer. Then the elder brother and the second sister stood up to take their leave. Is there something the matter, elder brother? Lin Yuan keenly noticed that something was off in the elder brother's mood. According to elder brother's past habits, a visit to Lin Yuan would last at least half a day. It's nothing serious. It's just that those barbaric demon beasts in the west have been restless lately. I need to make a trip and kill a few dozen demon kings to deter them, the elder brother said nonchalantly, shaking his head. In the elder brother's mouth, demon kings, which correspond to cultivators in the nascent soul stage, seemed no different from livestock waiting to be slaughtered. Still, be careful. I've heard that there's been a new demon saint presence in the demon saint's nest. The second sister glanced at the elder brother and reminded him. The demon saint's nest. A sacred land for the barbaric demonic beasts, is said to be related to a certain demon saint. And a demon saint corresponds to the level of an ancient saint of refined void. Don't worry, if there really is a demon saint's aura, it'll definitely run, the elder brother replied with a nod. Demon Saint's nest, Lin Yuan fell into thought. The Taoed Immortal sect, possessing the rich resources of the central divine continent, seemed glorious from the outside, but the demonic beasts to the west, the ghost cultivators to the south, and the blood demons to the north, all had their eyes on the Taoed Immortal sect. It was just that the Taoed Immortal sect was so powerful that it suppressed any disobedience, and things had been peaceful for years. Ha 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 ha, second sister, I've told you not to talk about these things in front of junior brother, the elder brother laughed heartily as he saw Lin Yuan's expression. Don't worry. The life-saving methods bestowed by the sect master will keep me safe, even if I do encounter a demon saint, the elder brother continued before turning to leave. Junior brother. If you have any problems, you must tell your sister, the second sister impressed upon Lin Yuan before she, too, departed. For a time. Cloud mist blessed land fell silent once more. Several days later. Taoed Immortal sect disciples delivered dozens of jade slips. Inside were recorded dozens of profound immortal path skills. Included at the bottom were 3 jade slips, detailing the strongest 3 body cultivation techniques collected by the Taoed Immortal sect. Body cultivation, Lin Yuan's eyes sparkled. He immediately began to browse through them. Body cultivation is renowned for forging the physical body. The martial path evolutionary path also places significant importance on tempering the physical body. The foundation of the martial arts evolution system is rooted in the physical body's qi and blood. Upon this foundation, it nurtures the spirit and evolves the primordial spirit. This realm's body cultivation lineage has the potential to continuously unearth the physical body's potential, purely increasing the strength of the physical body. Once the physical body reaches its limit, there's a certain chance that a physical body divine ability will be born. Lin Yuan pondered thoughtfully. A so-called physical body divine ability is an ability inscribed deep within the flesh and blood of the body. This ability, theoretically, should have no chance of manifesting due to its extreme subtlety, yet body cultivation techniques might indeed reawaken such ability. Of course, it's only a possibility. The emergence of a physical body divine ability, even for the lineage of body cultivation, is considered a legendary feat. Most cultivators who pursue body cultivation to its limits are unable to manifest a physical body divine ability. Physical body divine ability. Lin Yuan's eyes shone with vigor. With the methods of Against Heaven's understanding, he could completely refine and perfect the body cultivation techniques, greatly increasing the chance of giving birth to physical body divine abilities. From that day on, Lin Yuan secluded himself in the cloud mist blessed land, quietly recovering his strength while also comprehending the essence of this world's cultivation system. Time silently slipped by. In the blink of an eye, 20 years had passed. Chapter 2 40th Century Plan, Subscription Requested. Cloud Mist Blessed Land. Misty Immortal Qi. Atop the mountain loft, Lin Yuan lay on a recliner, leisurely ingesting the innate purple qi that appeared only in the early morning. Innate purple qi is a kind of nature's spiritual energy that can dispel hidden injuries, nourish the physical body, and greatly assist those following the body cultivation path. Compared to 20 years ago, Lin Yuan looked much healthier, and his body had grown considerably stronger. Young master, here is the misty cloud immortal tea that has been prepared. Chunhua and Chuyue, two golden core realm female cultivators, approached respectfully. After placing the misty cloud immortal tea in front of Lin Yuan, the two women came to his side and began massaging him with their slender hands. Young master, the practice of body cultivation is too taxing. Do you need to rest? Chuyue whispered. No need. Both of you may leave now. Lin Yuan, without lifting his eyelids, spoke casually. As you wish. Kia's expression was somewhat disappointed as she respectfully bowed and then left the mountain loft. On the mountain path, Chunhua and Chuyue spoke softly. The young master is so determined to cultivate the body cultivation to the golden core stage. How much pain must he endure? Chunhua said in an astonished tone. The path of body cultivation does not rely on the spirit root. But during cultivation, one needs to endure endless pain. And the consumption of resources is also much higher than other cultivators of the same stage. Being a well-known third-generation disciple of the Taoist Immortal sect, Lin Yuan certainly wouldn't lack resources. Yet, given his upbringing in luxury, the fact that he could endure the pain of body cultivation was surprising to many. A golden core stage body cultivator, with robust blood and qi, a strong physique, and an unparalleled physical body, many female cultivators outside desire to have a Tao companion proficient in body cultivation. Chuyue couldn't help but say in a low voice. Stop fantasizing. Chunhua glanced at Chuyue, who is the young master? Even without a spirit root, he's not someone you should be thinking about. Sister Chunhua, I only revere the young master. I definitely don't mean it that way, Chuyue quickly explained. Whatever it means, just be clear about it in your heart. Chunhua shook her head. Though they were sent to serve Jun Wuji with the readiness to offer themselves, that would only be possible if Jun Wuji was willing. As for forcing it, Chunhua and Chuyue certainly wouldn't dare. But the young master has cultivated the body cultivation technique to the golden core stage. which is about as far as it goes. The remaining transformation to nascent soul stage body cultivation hasn't been seen much in Central Divine Continent. Chuyue spoke softly. The path of body cultivation, though unmatched in combat power, is not cost-effective, requiring a tremendous amount of resources and not extending one's life. The most crucial point is that the breakthrough from Golden Core stage to nascent soul stage requires enduring extreme pain, which no cultivator has been able to withstand. You never know. After all, who would have thought the young master would achieve such success in the path of body cultivation? Maybe in the future, the young master will step into the nascent soul stage body cultivation. Chunhua spoke up. A nascent soul stage body cultivator, even within the Dao Immortal sect, is not considered weak, and across the lands of Central Divine Continent, that would make one a free and unpredictable elder. Body cultivation has been cultivated up to the divinity transformation stage and still no physical body divine ability was born. Back in the mountain loft, after Lin Yuan had finished ingesting the innate purple qi, he shook his head slightly and thought. The body cultivation technique I am practicing is based on the 73 top-notch body cultivation techniques, blended and comprehended. Could it be that the so-called physical body divine ability is really just a legend? Lin Yuan frowned. But even without birthing physical body divine ability, body cultivation has brought me a lot of benefits. In terms of combat power, a body cultivator at the divinity transformation stage can almost sweep through others of the same stage, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Over the years, Lin Yuan had intentionally displayed his talents in the path of body cultivation, and more recently, he openly demonstrated the strength of a golden core stage body cultivator. This was to ask his older brothers and sisters, as well as his parents, for more cultivation resources. If Lin Yuan were an ordinary person, a sudden vast need for cultivation resources would likely attract attention from others. But if Lin Yuan was immersed in the path of body cultivation, it's well known that the practice of body cultivation consumes a far greater amount of resources compared to other cultivators of the same stage. Moreover, with his status as a third-generation immortal disciple, for a boundary breakthrough that only needed a single portion of resources, for safety, 10 or 100 portions would be required to prevent accidents. And occasionally he'd be sent out to beg for resources. Overall. Now, besides reaching the divinity transformation stage in body cultivation, Lin Yuan's status in martial Tao had also restored to the 5th rank peak. He was beginning a transformation to harmonize with the soul, and stepping into the 6th rank, returning to the peak, was just a matter of the near future. Lin Yuan chose to publicly display his body cultivation talent. Aside from securing resources, it was more importantly, to cover up his own martial Tao aura. Martial Tao. Unlike the immortal path, both belong to completely different cultivation systems. Like the demon Tao in the west, the demonic Tao in the north, and the ghost path in the south. As for the Dao Immortal sect, whether it's martial Tao, demonic Tao, or ghost path, all are considered heretical paths. Once detected, they can be directly suppressed. This is a conflict of the great Tao, not about right or wrong, not about good or bad. Take Jun Wuji for example, unable to cultivate as an immortal due to lacking a spirit root, but he could pursue the ghost path or practice demonic Tao. Either could circumvent the issue of lacking a spirit root. But from beginning to end, whether it was Jun Wuji's maternal grandfather or his parents, they would rather consider using 9 heavens glazed water than ever think about letting Jun Wuji switch to practice the ghost path. The Daoist Immortal sect has dominated Central Divine Continent for tens of thousands of years. If it were known that one of their own disciples practiced the path of the ghost or demonic Tao, it's likely that their ancestors would be so infuriated they'd come back to life. Moreover, Jun Wuji himself never considered switching to practice the ways of the ghost or demonic Tao. Disciples of the Daoist Immortal sect are proud, always looking down on the paths of ghost, demon, and others, and even without a spirit root, Jun Wuji disdains walking a path other than that of the immortals. The difference in difficulty between the two, no one knows how many times greater it is. Even for Lin Yuan with his against heaven's understanding, there wasn't much certainty. In the main world, didn't those 7th rank evolution pathways take thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, or even 100,000 years to create? And the founders who created the pathways for 7th rank evolvers were mostly 8th layer evolvers, 9th rank evolvers. From their lofty positions, the difficulty would drop dramatically. Forget about the Daoed Immortal sect for now. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts. He wanted to spread martial Tao in this world to prepare for the ultimate leap in the future. He must first lay the groundwork for the propagation of the martial path evolutionary path. The rise and prosperity of a cultivation system can't possibly appear overnight. If Lin Yuan waits until his strength reaches 6th rank peak, it will probably be several hundred years later. By then, even if he could contend with the strongest combat power of the Daoed Immortal sect, what could he use in the remaining 100 or 200 years to spread martial Tao? 100 to 200 years might not even produce a 3rd or 4th rank martial Tao cultivator. Once Lin Yuan leaves, faced with the Daoed Immortal sect's counterattack, martial Tao would likely not even have the qualifications to resist, easily crushed. Therefore, if you want to spread martial Tao, you must plan in advance, and develop it over 400 or 500 years. In this way, even without Lin Yuan, martial Tao could still survive. As for how long it could last, it would be beyond Lin Yuan's influence. Lin Yuan could only do everything possible within the 500 years of residency in this world. The world consciousness of these heavens and earth, Lin Yuan felt it carefully for a while. The suppression of other cultivation systems isn't very severe, Lin Yuan deduced in his heart. The consciousnesses of different worlds can vary as well. The world consciousness of the 4th world Lin Yuan had traveled to was extremely stingy, intolerant of other cultivation systems. The world consciousness of this immortal Tao world, however, was tolerable, or else demon Tao, ghost path, and demonic Tao wouldn't have coexisted. After 20 years of lying low, now it's time to start making moves and laying out the board. Lin Yuan's gaze was calm. Plotting also depends on strength. If Lin Yuan had only recovered to the 2nd layer or 3rd rank strength, roughly the same as the foundation establishment stage or golden core stage in this world, how could he plot anything when facing a group of nascent soul and divinity transformation period powerhouses? Protecting his own life would be enough. But now, Lin Yuan was at the 5th stage peak. Comparable to the peak of divinity transformation, with his numerous means, he might even manage to contend with an ancient saint of refined void. Naturally, he was qualified to plot. To spread the martial path evolutionary path, I must first establish a force, one purely comprising martial Dao cultivators. And to establish a force, I must first have a territory. Lin Yuan's mind stirred slightly. A map appeared before his eyes. In the center of the map was the central divine continent, the domain of the Daoed Immortal sect. To the north were blood-red and black territories, domains of the blood demon, and also the sacred ground for devil cultivators. To the west were the regions of the barbaric demon beasts, where, it was said, that the demon saints' nest protected by them could nurture demon saints comparable to ancient saints of refinement void. And to the south, where ghostly chi pervaded, belonged to the ghost cultivators of the netherworld. Rumor had it that they hailed from the mysterious ghost palace of Netherworld, which connected to the netherworld underworld. Lin Yuan's gaze moved continuously over the map. Whether it was the central divine continent or the northern, western, and southern regions, all had already been occupied by forces, and it would be very difficult for martial Tao to expand in these 3 places. The east, Lin Yuan looked toward the eastern region of the map. There, poised on the edge of the East Sea, was the area of various left paths. Simply put, it was a no-man's land, teeming with cultivators of ambiguous identities. Many cultivators who had offended the Daoed Immortal sect had fled to the eastern sea islands, and as long as they did not court death, they could live freely. Starting from the East Sea is possible, Lin Yuan thought to himself. At the very least, the Eastern Sea Islands had a complicated mix of forces. Martial Tao blending in wouldn't be too conspicuous. You go to the East Sea, spread martial Tao, and establish a force. Lin Yuan's mind stirred slightly, and a phantom figure emerged from within his body. This phantom figure, upon touching the outside world, rapidly solidified, radiating the power of Taiyang, with bright eyes, and stood there quietly. It was Lin Yuan's radiant Yang spirit, also known as the Taiyang divine spirit. At the fifth stage of martial Tao, a corresponding martial Tao primordial spirit could be born. The martial Tao primordial spirit was essentially an avatar, sharing one consciousness with the original self. And its strength wouldn't be much weaker than that of the original self. At present, Lin Yuan's Yang spirit, when unleashing its full power, should have no equal below an ancient saint of refinement void. Whoosh! The Yang spirit's form disappeared. Following Lin Yuan's orders, it headed for the distant East Sea. In fact, since Lin Yuan and the Yang spirit shared consciousness, Lin Yuan could see what the Yang spirit saw. Talking to the Yang spirit was much like talking to oneself. Lin Yuan Yang spirit turned from solid to ethereal, easily passing through the many restrictions of cloud mist blessed land and reaching the outside world. Looks like it's going to be a while before I can return, Lin Yuan muttered, turning to fly toward the east. At the pavilion atop Yunwu Mountain, Lin Yuan was still seated cross-legged. Sending out the Yang spirit was already part of Lin Yuan's plan. In time, Lin Yuan would also continue to dispatch the Yin God. The two great martial Tao primordial spirits would be like Lin Yuan's two significant avatars. One body divided into three, sharing one consciousness. Furthermore, when the primordial spirit is abroad, there's another advantage. Even if Lin Yuan's original self perished, it would not be the end. From Taiyin comes Taiyang, from Taiyang comes Taiyin, from Yin and Yang comes Taiji, from Taiji comes all things. As long as the Yin spirit and Yang spirit exist, a new physical body can be reborn. Similarly, even if the Yin spirit and Yang spirit are destroyed outside, as long as the physical body remains, it can condense anew the Yin spirit and Yang spirit. The original self, the Yin God, and the Yang God. As long as one is alive, Lin Yuan cannot die. Therefore, Lin Yuan dispatched his Yang God and Yin God also to augment his own survival capabilities. Half a month later, almost back to the power of the 6th rank, Lin Yuan sensed for a while and thought. Body cultivation, Lin Yuan's face showed contemplation. For the lineage of body cultivation, breaking through to the virtual refinement realm was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. It was almost impossible to achieve. In the tens of thousands of years of Central Divine Continent's history, not a single body cultivator had emerged at the level of refined void. As Lin Yuan pondered over the virtual refinement realm of the lineage of body cultivation and tried to deduce it using against heaven's understanding, his expression suddenly changed slightly. He looked up toward the outside of cloud mist blessed land. Chapter 242 was Suns in the Sky. Revenge will not wait overnight. Please subscribe. With Lin Yuan's current strength, he could easily sense every little detail for hundreds or even thousands of miles away. This was merely perception, but if he were to recklessly expand his Taiji domain, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of miles would be within his control. Why have they come? Lin Yuan stroked his chin. At this moment, about 200 miles away from cloud mist blessed land, two escape lights appeared. They were Lin Yuan's elder brother and second sister. Over the years, his brother and sister would visit Lin Yuan every 6 months. Now, it was not even 2 months since their last visit. It must be that something has happened in the Immortal sect, Lin Yuan guessed in his heart. Before long, the two escape lights arrived outside the cloud mist blessed land. Lin Yuan also promptly showed a hint of surprise and quickly opened the restrictive formation of the blessed land to welcome his brother and sister in. Lin Yuan's elder brother was named Jun Xiaoyao, with the Taoist name Xiaoyao Zi. The second sister was Jun Jilan, with the Taoist name Jilan Fairy. However, other cultivators preferred to call Jun Jilan Shinshao Fairy. Little brother, the sect master has broken through to the hollow void realm, and the Immortal sect is holding a celebration. We are here to take you there, explained the elder brother, Jun Xiaoyao, immediately. Hollow void realm. Lin Yuan instantly understood. The Immortal Path's void refinement realm is divided into 3 stages. Entering void realm. Hollow void realm. Refine void realm. The advance of the Taoist Immortal sect master into the hollow void realm meant that his strength was considered powerful even among ancient saints, as most ancient saints of the past had their cultivation end at the entering void realm. Hee, little brother, even Grandpa mentioned you specifically. There's no need to make this celebration widely known. It will be just some people from our Immortal sect participating. Jun Jilan, unlike Jun Xiaoyao, who was more formal, didn't refer to her grandpa as the sect master when with family. Okay, Lin Yuan nodded. But elder brother and second sister, you'll first go to the treasury to select a gift for grandpa, Lin Yuan explained. Even for close relatives, it wouldn't do to come empty-handed. That's fine, the elder brother and sister agreed, nodding their heads. They watched as Lin Yuan left. The brother and sister waited in place. Little brother has changed a lot over the years, the second sister, Jun Jilan, said with a touch of emotion. The path of body cultivation requires enduring tremendous pain for advancement. How could little brother remain the same after cultivating to the body cultivation golden core stage? Jun Xiaoyao, the elder brother, thought it was only to be expected. Even he would feel scalp-numbing pain facing the breakthrough to the golden core stage of body cultivation. That Jun Wuji could have achieved what he has now, his mental state was already beyond other golden core stage cultivators. As for the huge changes in Jun Wuji, Jun Xiaoyao felt no surprise. 20 years ago, after Jun Wuji was struck with defeat, he moved out from Mount Morality Immortal and came to Cloud Mist Blessed Land. Shamed and then becoming braver, he embarked on the difficult path of body cultivation, and achieving some success was no strange matter. The treasury of Cloud Mist Blessed Land. Lin Yuan walked in. He casually selected a treasure. To the leader of the Taoist Immortal sect, it didn't matter what gift Lin Yuan brought, the sentiment was what truly counted. Condense. Lin Yuan stood still. He retracted all traces related to martial Tao and tucked them deep within his body. Heading to the Taoist Immortal sect to meet the sect master who had entered the hollow void realm, Lin Yuan naturally had to make thorough preparations. This should be about right. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. Now, with all his aura retracted and even his physical strength temporarily downgraded to that of a body cultivation golden core stage, not even a sect master at the hollow void realm, let alone a refined void cultivator at the refined void period, could detect the slightest anomaly. The reason Lin Yuan could so proficiently retract his aura was firstly that he was also a 6th rank powerhouse, which was equivalent to the refined void period, and secondly, he had come from a main world, having seen many evolution paths, making this task of concealing his strength seem like a dimension-reducing strike when compared to creatures of this world. It's better to leave the yin spirit behind, Lin Yuan considered for a while, his thoughts stirring slightly as a faint phantom separated from his body, then disappeared within the treasury. Although the presence of the yin spirit was almost non-existent, keeping it with him could still pose a risk. Moreover, leaving the yin spirit in Cloud Mist Blessed Land was also a contingency plan prepared by Lin Yuan. In case of any real emergencies, having both the yin spirit and yang spirit out, Lin Yuan would have more tactics at his disposal and wouldn't truly die. After all the preparations were made, Lin Yuan, carrying the gift, came to where his brother and sister were. Let's go. The second sister, Jun Jilan, reached out her right hand. A treasure of a colorful handkerchief with cloud patterns unfolded in the air, turning into a several hundred zhang auspicious cloud. The elder brother and sister had come flying using escape light because it was the fastest method. But naturally, they couldn't return using escape light, especially with Lin Yuan beside them. While a cultivator in the body cultivation golden core stage indeed had the means to fly, they could not match the speed of the elder brother and sister, both seasoned nascent soul stage cultivators. Therefore, the second sister activated the treasure to transport the three of them towards the Daoed Immortal sect. Come aboard. Jun Xiaoyao stepped onto the auspicious cloud treasure, and Lin Yuan followed suit. After half a day, the Daoed Immortal sect appeared within Lin Yuan's sight. There, above the sea of clouds, stood immortal mountains so tall they seemed to prop up the heavens, majestic and grand. Mount Morality Immortal, Lin Yuan gazed at the distant immortal mountain. The Daoed Immortal sect was established atop Mount Morality Immortal, which was the place where the largest spirit veins of the central divine continent converged. It was also a sacred land that all cultivators yearned for. The central divine continent had 72 blessed lands and 108 auspicious sites for cultivation, all abundant with spiritual energy and incredible cultivation benefits. But compared to Mount Morality Immortal, even if all 72 blessed lands and 108 auspicious sites were combined. Chapter 243 was Suns in the Sky. Revenge does not wait overnight. Please subscribe _2. It certainly pales in comparison to Mount Morality Immortal. Whoosh! The auspicious cloud treasure flew to the front of the Immortal sect. An invisible fluctuation swept through. An entrance appeared in the grand formation ahead. Dozens of Immortal sect disciples bowed in unison. We've seen Xiaoyao Zi, Uncle Master. We've seen Jilan Fairy. Soon. They arrived at the summit of the main peak of the Daoed Immortal sect. A large hall situated here was surrounded by rich nature's spiritual energy, which even transformed into spirit rain showering down. This place was a completely different world from the outside, like a true immortal realm. Lin Yuan followed Jun Xiaoyao and Jun Jilan into the grand hall. At this time, there were already some people seated in the hall. Wuxia, a female cultivator with a beautiful appearance, smiled at Lin Yuan. It was Jun Wuxia's mother, the direct daughter of the current Taoist Immortal sect master, Mu Lianer. And the man sitting next to Mu Lianer was Jun Wuxia's father, Jun Dongjin. Jun Dongjin had a mutated heavenly spiritual root. He was the most talented individual of his generation in the Daoed Immortal sect, with hopes of breaking through to the refining void period, one of the top candidates for the sect's future sect master. Ha ha ha, so this must be Wuxia. Indeed, you're quite promising. Having no spirit root, yet choosing the path of body cultivation, a tall and impressive man approached, gave Lin Yuan a glance, then turned to laugh with Jun Dongjin. This tall and powerful man just standing there exuded an intangible suppression. Mu Mengting. Lin Yuan recognized this impressive man. Mu Mengting was a distinguished offspring of the Mu family of the Daoed Immortal sect, and the current sect master came from the Mu family. His mother Mu Lianer was also a member. Though Mu Mengting was also a cultivator with a heavenly spiritual root, his aptitude was indeed half a step behind Jun Dongjin's, but his identity in the Mu family still made him one of the hot candidates for the future sect master of the Immortal sect. Mu Mengting and Jun Dongjin were rivals. Of course, the position of sect master of the Daoed Immortal sect was not about background. It was about who could break through to the refining void period first. He would be the sect master. Mengting brother overpraises. Wuxia is just toying around with small achievements, they mean nothing. After all, the limit of body cultivation is the golden core stage. Jun Dongjin responded with a smile. Humph. Upon hearing those words, Mu Mengting didn't say much and returned to his seat. Lin Yuan sat next to Jun Dongjin. Mu Mengting had just shown subtle malice toward him. If Jun Dongjin hadn't spoken up in time, Lin Yuan's state of mind might have been affected. This old man, Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. 20 years ago, Lin Yuan had been no different from a cripple. Mu Mengting had not even bothered to consider him worth his attention, let alone target him. But now, Lin Yuan had achieved considerable success on the path of body cultivation. Even if this success was trivial for him, it had earned him praise from the sect master of the Immortal sect, who was his maternal grandfather. This made Mu Mengting somewhat uncomfortable. That's why that earlier scene had happened. In Mu Mengting's view, the position of sect master for the Daoed Immortal sect should belong to his Mu family. Yet, Jun Wuji, an outsider, emerged out of nowhere. Even if Jun Dongjin married Mu Lianer, he was still an outsider. How dare he covet the position of sect master? Just then, inside the hall, the atmosphere began to subtly change. Lin Yuan sensed it and looked toward the main seat. He saw a middle-aged man with a dignified presence, who had appeared at some point and was now sitting there. "We've seen the sect master." The others in the hall noticed as well. They stood up immediately and bowed to the dignified middle-aged man. "Please, everyone, take your seats." The dignified middle-aged man spoke slowly. "Yes." Everyone sat down in order. "Is that the Immortal sect leader? The hollow void realm of the refining void period?" Lin Yuan secretly observed. In terms of realms, Lin Yuan, who had just entered the 6th rank, was considered to be at the entering void realm. In this respect, he was not as advanced as the Immortal sect leader. Once everyone was seated, female cultivators carrying various spirit fruits began to serve them at the tables in front of each person. Those who could participate in the Hollow Void Great Hall event of Daoed Immortal sect were principally high-level cultivators with high positions and great influence. "What's the situation with the Ghost Palace of Netherworld?" The voice of the Immortal sect leader was calm as he asked. "The Daoed Immortal sect dominates the central divine continent, overpowering the demonic Tao, demon Tao, and ghost path with absolute strength. However, these three are extremely tenacious. No matter the severity of the blows they sustain, they always manage to recuperate. Therefore, to prevent these three paths from causing chaos, every so often the Daoed Immortal sect sends out disciples to sweep through and purge the area." Sect Master. "Those ghost cultivators have been so thoroughly beaten by our Immortal sect that they are now too scared to even step into the Central Earth." An old man with golden lion's mane-like curly hair stood up and proudly declared. He was responsible for clearing out the ghost cultivators to the south and had completed his mission admirably, thus he spoke with great confidence. "Not bad." The Immortal sect leader nodded slightly. "That ghost palace of Netherworld is of mysterious origin, and even I find it hard to locate. We must be cautious with the ghost cultivators on that side." The Immortal sect leader spoke. "It's not that the Daoed Immortal sect didn't want to completely obliterate the ghost cultivators. It's that they simply couldn't. Every time the sect master of the Daoed Immortal sect, wielding the founding artifact of the sect, went south to purge the land, all the ghost cultivators would hide within the ghost palace of Netherworld, and even an ancient saint of refinement void could not find the thoroughly concealed ghost palace of Netherworld. Therefore, dealing with the ghost cultivators to the south could only focus on suppression and clearing, containing their power from rising, and thus, there would be no significant issues. What about the blood demons to the north?" The Immortal sect leader continued to ask. "Sect Master, the Blood Chief's blood god children have already lost 60% of their number, ha ha ha, now they don't dare to leave the Blood Demon Sea." Another person rose to speak. "The Blood Chief has merged with the Blood Sea. While he is nearly immortal and indestructible, he cannot leave the bounds of the Blood Demon Sea." The Immortal sect leader nodded. The Blood Chief was an exceptional being. Even the past Immortal sect leaders, wielding the founding artifact of the sect, could not completely slay the Blood Chief. If the Blood Demon Sea does not dry up, the Blood Chief remains undying. What about the Eastern Sea Islands? The Immortal sect leader continued to inquire. Sect Master. At this moment, Mu Mengting stood up and said, "The Eastern Sea Islands are a mix of dragons and snakes, extremely resistant to external forces. However, over the years, I have painstakingly established a secret influence and gained control over the Black Gauze Archipelago. With me here, the Eastern Sea Islands can only remain in chaos." Mu Mengting said confidently. To the Daoed Immortal sect, the approach to the Eastern Sea Islands differed from that towards the Demon Tao, Ghost Path, and Demonic Tao. They didn't directly suppress them. The situation in the Eastern Sea Islands was exceedingly complex, constantly embroiled in internal strife. The Daoed Immortal sect only needed to ensure that no unified force emerged from the Eastern Sea Islands. Then they could rest easy without worries. Thus, Mu Mengting secretly established his own power, ready to intervene whenever there were signs of the islands unifying. This side, the force Mu Mengting secretly amassed numerous cultivation resources for, was of paramount significance and served as his left and right arms. Not bad. The Immortal sect leader nodded once more. The Black Gauze Archipelago. Lin Yuan, sitting next to Jun Dongjin, felt a slight stir in his heart. Considering his plans to spread the martial path evolutionary path starting from the Eastern Sea Islands, Lin Yuan naturally conducted thorough research on the islands. And he was fairly clear about the location of the Black Gauze Archipelago. The East Sea. Lin Yuanyang's spirit suddenly came to a halt. The cloud mist-blessed land was extremely far from the East Sea. But the Yang's spirit wasn't physical, and its flying speed was feared to be unmatched even by an ancient saint of refinement void. After half a month of rapid travel, Lin Yuanyang's spirit eventually arrived within the perimeter of the East Sea. In reality, the Daoed Immortal sect had a dedicated teleportation formation that could instantly reach the proximity of the East Sea. However, Lin Yuanyang's spirit decided to take a tour along the way. After all, spreading the martial path evolutionary path was a 100-year plan, so there was no rush. The Black Gauze Archipelago. The Lin Yuanyang spirit and the original body shared the same consciousness. Their memories were identical, with instantaneous exchange of all knowledge and sensations. Therefore, when Lin Yuan heard about Mu Mengting establishing a power base in the Black Gauze Archipelago of the East Sea, the Yang spirit was instantly informed. That should be the Black Gauze Archipelago over there. Lin Yuanyang's spirit changed course and headed towards the Black Gauze Archipelago. A moment later, the Black Gauze Archipelago appeared before him. 12 Divinity Transformation, 56 Nascent Souls. Lin Yuanyang's spirit clicked his tongue, then raised his right hand. In that instant, even the high-hanging sun in the sky seemed to dim. Endless power of Taiyang, as if commanded, rushed forth even if some of it seemed unwilling, eventually converging obediently on Lin Yuanyang's spirit's right hand. For a time, 2 suns hung in the sky. In the end, Lin Yuan weighed the sun in his right hand, deeming its mass satisfactory, then he threw it towards the nearby Black Gauze Archipelago. Chapter 244 Founding Artifact of the Sect, Taihao Immortal Mirror. Please subscribe. Black Gauze Archipelago. Main Island Council Hall. 12 Mahayana Phase Heaven Lords, 56 nascent soul true monarchs gathered here. Even in the politically complex and ever-changing Eastern Sea Islands. 12 Heaven Lords and 56 true monarchs formed a force that could not be ignored. Among the 800 minor sects and 3,000 factions of the left paths, this force could easily rank within the top 10. What's more, the power of Black Gauze Archipelago had completely integrated into the Eastern Sea Islands. Apart from the three strongest Mahayana phase heaven lords, no one knew that the Black Gauze archipelago was secretly controlled and driven by the Taoed immortal sects Mu Mengting. Although the 800 minor sects and 3,000 factions of the left paths in the eastern sea islands constantly fought among themselves year-round, they were exceedingly xenophobic, and if they discovered a mole from the Taoed immortal sect had infiltrated their territory, even if they dared not act against it, they would subconsciously stop their internal strife and instinctively band together. This would violate the basic strategy of the Taoed immortal sect in dealing with the eastern sea islands. For the Taoed immortal sect, it's best to have the 800 minor sects and 3,000 factions of the left paths of the eastern sea in constant chaos and infighting. As for unity, what difference would that make from the demon Tao, the ghost path, or the demonic Tao? Mu Mengting secretly controlled the Black Gauze archipelago, stirring up the situation in the eastern sea and incidentally amassing a large amount of resources and wealth with a masterful approach. Compared with the complex suppression of the demonic Tao to the north, the demon Tao to the west, and the ghost path to the south by other members of the immortal sect, Mu Mengting's control of Black Gauze archipelago was definitely a cushy job. This was also the favoritism of the Taoed immortal sect master towards Mu Mengting. In a while, he'll make a trip to the central divine continent and hand over the gains of these 100 years. In the council hall, a Mahayana phase heaven lord seated at the chief position thought to himself. He looked down at the many nascent soul true monarchs below and the other heaven lords seated to his left and right, just about to speak. Just then, the complexion of this Mahayana phase heaven lord changed slightly. He suddenly felt the air around him becoming scorching hot. Not good. More than 10 Mahayana phase heaven lords dramatically changed their expressions, instinctively soaring into the sky, the unique aura of Mahayana phase cultivators, the oppressive might that looked down upon mortals and dominated rise and fall, suddenly erupted. However, the next moment, a trace of despair appeared on the faces of the dozen Mahayana phase heaven lords. Because they saw the sun plummeting towards the Black Gauze archipelago. Above the clouds, Lin Yuan withdrew his right hand, glancing down at the Black Gauze archipelago below. At this moment, the Black Gauze archipelago had turned into a sea of fire, with the auras of various true monarchs and heaven lords constantly erupting, only to be quickly extinguished. The secret technique of the Wanyang lineage truly has a terrifying lethal power. Seeing this, Lin Yuan nodded slightly. The sun he had just thrown down was a simplified version of the Wanyang Same Heaven, a secret technique once activated by the Wanyang Holy Sun. Having crossed hands with the Wanyang Holy Sun twice, Lin Yuan had already learned most of the latter's unique skills with his Against Heaven's understanding. If it was in the main world, Lin Yuan certainly would not have casually activated a secret technique related to the Wanyang lineage, because it could easily be recognized by other high-rank evolvers, leading to potential copyright disputes. The laws of the human alliance in the main world are sound, providing good protection for many secret techniques and laws. If you're not a disciple of that lineage and haven't purchased the secret technique from that lineage, yet you use it, that's considered stealing. No matter in which star domain or star alliance, it is deemed illegal. But while traveling between worlds, there is no need to hide. Especially now that Lin Yuan is a young spirit avatar, he doesn't need to be excessively cautious. The Black Gauze archipelago, Lin Yuan looked down, ensuring that there were no survivors. The reason he targeted the Black Gauze archipelago was mainly for two reasons. One was to take revenge for himself and Jun Dongjin. His father, Jun Dongjin, had a mutated heavenly spiritual root and his talent was unmatched among the younger generation of the Taoed immortal sect. But due to his status, when faced with provocation by Mu Mengting, he could only suffer in silence. Now that he had the opportunity for revenge, Lin Yuan would not let it pass by. The second reason was that he wanted to spread the martial path evolutionary path in the eastern sea islands, where he was bound to clash with the Black Gauze archipelago eventually. Rather than being obstructed and troubled by the Black Gauze Archipelago in the future, he might as well take decisive action now and eradicate it entirely. Gather. Lin Yuan, gazing down upon the Black Gauze Archipelago, took a deep breath. In an instant, a massive amount of extremely pure spiritual energy surged toward him. As one of the top forces of the Eastern Sea Islands, the Black Gauze Archipelago naturally had amassed a wealth of treasures and resources. Especially those gathered from Mu Mengting, which had yet to be handed over and were stored on the island's treasury, as well as within the storage ring of the leading Mahayana heavenly monarch. Now that the Black Gauze Archipelago had been reduced to a sea of fire, everything was burned clean. Those treasures and resources, under the incineration of Taiyang true fire, turned into the most pure spiritual energy in essence. All of it was devoured by Lin Yuan. Quite a lot. Having swallowed everything, a smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The essence and spiritual energy he had just consumed was enough to elevate a beginning stage Mahayana heavenly monarch to the middle stage or even the late stage. Dowd Immortal Sect. Mu Mingting stood up, about to report to the Immortal Sect leader the results of these years of battle and how the Black Gauze Archipelago he controlled had stirred up the situation in the Eastern Sea. Suddenly, Mu Mengting's expression drastically changed. How is this possible? Mu Mengting's complexion looked terrible. He even carried a trace of panic. Because he noticed that the life tablets of the group of Mahayana heavenly monarchs and nascent soul true monarchs in the Black Gauze Archipelago had shattered simultaneously. What did this mean? It meant that all the Mahayana heavenly monarchs and nascent soul true monarchs had fallen. And their time of death was nearly identical. In addition, it also meant that the Black Gauze Archipelago, which he had painstakingly managed, was no longer in existence. If even the Mahayana heavenly monarchs and nascent soul true monarchs had perished, what about the other cultivators and personnel? Chapter 245 Founding Artifact of the Sect, Taihao Immortal Mirror. Please subscribe, _2. What has happened? Seated in the main seat, the leader of the Dowd Immortal Sect spoke. Sect Master. The divinity transformation and nascent soul cultivators of the Black Gauze Archipelago have just perished. Mu Mengting dared not conceal anything and immediately spoke up. What? The eyes of the Dowd Immortal Sect leader turned cold. How dare they? The Dowd Immortal Sect leader suddenly stood up. At the same time, above the head of the Dowd Immortal Sect leader, a mirror emitting boundless light and ages appeared. A beam of light, as if penetrating through time and space, shot out from the highest place of the Dowd Immortal Sect, and in just a few moments, it descended in front of the Black Gauze Archipelago in the East Sea. Above the clouds, Lin Yuan, who was relishing, slightly changed his expression and looked up toward the terrifying mirror light coming from the Dowd Immortal Sect. His figure silently disappeared. The next moment, the mirror light arrived. It transformed into a phantom. Upon closer inspection, it was indeed the appearance of the Dowd Immortal Sect leader. The phantom looked down at the Black Gauze Archipelago, which had been transformed into a sea of fire, swept its icy gaze around, and with a cold snort, disappeared without a trace. Tens of thousands of miles away, Lin Yuanyang's yang spirit appeared. Is that the founding artifact of the sect, the Taihao Immortal Mirror? Lin Yuan's expression grew somewhat solemn as he thought to himself. Using his yang spirit form, it took him half a month to fly from the cloud mist-blessed land to the East Sea. But the leader of the Dowd Immortal Sect, with the help of the Taihao Immortal Mirror, arrived in the East Sea in just a few moments. Is the Dowd Immortal Sect leader that powerful? Of course not. The Dowd Immortal Sect leader is only at the refining illusionary and hollow realm, equivalent to the 6th rank, 4th to 9th layer of the main world. He couldn't possibly have such terrifying speed. All of this was due to the founding artifact of the sect, the Taihao Immortal Realm. This immortal artifact's power is limitless, its mirror light capable of reaching any corner of the central divine continent. No wonder 12,000 years ago, the blood demon in the north, the ghost cultivator king in the south, and the barbaric demon Sane in the east, gathering the powers of 3 refining void ancient saints, wanted to initiate a decisive battle yet were still utterly defeated by the Daoed Immortal sect. Lin Yuan's thoughts surged. The person above the cloud simply tossed the mini sun in their hand towards the Black Gauze archipelago. The scene ended. "What a terrifying fire system Dao technique," remarked an elder with golden, lion-maned curls, unable to contain his astonishment. Just within a moment's breathing time, to condense such huge Taiyang true fire not only points to the reason of strong cultivation realm but also indicates a terrifying control over the power of Taiyang. "Since when did such a powerful being appear in the East Sea?" asked the Daoed Immortal sect leader from the higher seat, furrowing his brows. Considering the power demonstrated by that blurry figure, it had already reached Mahayana perfection and was even beginning to infinitely approach the refining void ancient saint layer. "Pay more attention to this person," said the Daoed Immortal sect leader. "Yes," the crowd below responded in unison. "Xiaoyao Zhilan, you two should just stay inside the sect and not go out in the near future." Mu Lianer glanced at Jun Xiaoyao and Jun Zhilan and transmitted her voice. "If you encounter this person, don't even think about resisting, just use your life-saving measures and run." After giving her instructions, Mu Lianer's gaze turned to Lin Yuan, who looked exceedingly well-behaved sitting nearby. "You too, learn more from Wuxia and don't always think about going out. How dangerous is it outside?" "Wuxia is very good, spending all his days inside Cloud Mist Blessed Land, not going anywhere." Mu Lianer looked at her youngest son with relief. Although Jun Wuxia had no spirit root, he was much steadier, at least not causing her any worry. Half a day later, the Hollow Void Realm ceremony ended. Lin Yuan left accompanied by the farewells of Jun Xiaoyao and Jun Zhilan. He returned to Cloud Mist Blessed Land. "Little brother, we are heading back first," said Jun Xiaoyao and Jun Zhilan, bidding him farewell before hastily departing. The appearance of a mysterious figure skilled in fire system Dao techniques in the East Sea had caught the attention of the Daoed Immortal sect, and they needed to discuss how to deal with this powerful entity. The Daoed Immortal sect, known for its dominating actions, absolutely didn't allow the emergence of a being beyond their control. A month later, news came from the East Sea. Biayu Island was about to appear. Biayu Island was an extraordinarily unique island. It was akin to a blessed paradise of the East Sea, teeming with thick spiritual energy, making it a sacred ground for cultivation. However, Biayu Island was not immobile, it would sink into the deep sea every 2,000 years. Deep sea bottoms, perilously dangerous, were home to ancient demonic beasts that have survived from tens of thousands of years ago. Thus, each time Biayu Island sank, cultivators on the island could only leave. Not even Mahayana phase heaven lords dared to sink together with Biayu Island. The depths of the sea harbored terrifying sea pressures, and even the Mahayana phase heaven lords' powers were hindered, let alone those unfathomable ancient beasts. Mahayana phase heaven lords would find their scalps tingling with fear. It had been 2,000 years since the last time Biayu Island submerged. Calculating the time, the island was due to resurface soon. When the time arrived, Biayu Island, carrying 2,000 years' worth of accumulated thick spiritual energy, would return to the East Sea. Given that the East Sea was originally not rich in spiritual energy, only a few dozen suitable places for cultivation existed, most of which were occupied by hundreds of secondary doors and 3,000 left paths. Now with the impending appearance of Biayu Island, countless East Sea cultivators were preparing eagerly, hoping to secure a cultivation cave dwelling on Biayu Island. Cloud Mist Blessed Land. Inside the cultivation chamber, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, his inner chi undergoing gradual changes, seeming to be transforming bit by bit. Finally, as if reaching a certain limit, Lin Yuan's entire being surged in aura, which then quickly settled down. 6th rank, Lin Yuan opened his eyes, a smile appearing on his face. Both share something in common. That is the exploration of the physical body. Of course, in the tens of thousands of years in Central Divine Continent, there has never been a body cultivator who reached the refining void level. But Lin Yuan was different. What countless favored sons of the past in this world couldn't do, Lin Yuan believed he could. And now that he had regained 6th rank martial Tao strength, with his formidable and incomparable body, cultivating the body cultivation technique would surely make rapid progress. Along with the guidance of Against Heaven's understanding to chart the course ahead, becoming an unprecedented refining void body cultivator was likely just a matter of time. The reason for devoting energy to body cultivation was that Lin Yuan deduced that a body cultivator at the refining void level would almost inevitably develop physical body divine abilities. Such means greatly enhance one's abilities in certain aspects, and Lin Yuan was quite curious about them. Moreover, sharpening the axe won't delay the work of cutting wood. Understanding the lineage of body cultivation techniques would also help Lin Yuan's martial path evolutionary path significantly. While Lin Yuan was retreating to Cloud Mist Blessed Land to cultivate and seek enlightenment, the Eastern Sea Islands were continually stirring major upheavals. There were mainly two things. The first, Beiyu Island's emergence was imminent. After 2,000 years of nurturing in the depths of the sea, Beiyu Island's emergence was bringing not only a cultivation holy land comparable to the blessed lands of Central Divine Continent. The spiritual medicines and immortal roots that grew on the island had also fully matured. As Beiyu Island's 2,000-year cycle of sinking and floating had become regular, many cultivators planted spiritual medicines and immortal roots on the island prior to its submersion 2,000 years ago. Hence, after 2,000 years of growth, most have matured, and at the bottom of the deep sea, undisturbed, their growth is exceptionally fine. Therefore, for the cultivators of the Eastern Sea, no matter if it's the 800 secondary schools, the 3,000 left paths, or other independent cultivators, Beiyu Island is a great opportunity. No one is uninterested. Even the Blood Demon to the north and the Ghost Cultivator King to the south have set their sights on Beiyu Island. Beyond Beiyu Island's emergence, the other issue that stirred the passions of many cultivators in the Eastern Sea Islands had to do with the destruction of the Black Gauze Archipelago. This matter can be divided into two aspects. First is the mysterious powerhouse who, using the fire system Tao, in one fell swoop turned the Black Gauze Archipelago into nothingness. Outsiders almost believe that this mysterious powerhouse is only a line away from the Ancient Saint layer, or possibly already infinitely close to the Ancient Saint level. Otherwise, how could there be such a heaven-reaching method that left more than 10 heavenly monarchs and dozens of true monarchs of the Black Gauze Archipelago unable to even resist, and they perish completely? The other aspect is that after the mysterious powerhouse obliterated the Black Gauze Archipelago, the vast light from the founding artifact of the sect from the Taoed Immortal sect in Central Earth descended upon the Black Gauze Archipelago. The Taihao Immortal Mirror is the only immortal artifact of this realm. Its light represents boundless light, boundless kulpa, its might immense, and the disturbance of transporting it from the Immortal sect through to the Eastern Sea cannot be easily concealed. Since that mysterious powerhouse just wiped out the Black Gauze Archipelago, and the vast light of the founding artifact arrived so quickly, it was hard not to link the two together. What is the background of that mysterious powerhouse? No matter where they are from, that mysterious powerhouse must have a troubled relationship with the Taoed Immortal sect. Indeed, otherwise the Taoed Immortal sect would not use their founding artifact. Even using it once would be a drain, even for an ancient saint of refinement void. Such a powerhouse nearly stepping into ancient saint level shouldn't just appear out of nowhere, right? Could it be a powerful figure nurtured by the Ghost Cultivator King to the south? Chapter 247 To Be or Not to Be, over 5,000 words mega chapter, please subscribe _2. Ghost Cultivator King. The Ghost Cultivator King is indeed strong, an ancient sage-level expert, but for him to cultivate someone to the ultimate firmness and yang, wielding Taiyang true fire at the pinnacle of Mahayana perfection, that might be a challenge too great for even the mighty. Indeed, that mysterious powerhouse excels in Taiyang true fire, the nemesis of ghost cultivators and blood demons, definitely not from the south or the north. Could it be the work of the barbaric demon saint from the west? But that doesn't seem likely, and besides, the demon Tao from the west has Mount Morality Immortal standing between it and the East Sea, making it quite difficult to cross over, let alone have any intention in coming here. Many cultivators of the Eastern Sea Islands were discussing fervently. They continuously speculated about the origins of that mysterious powerhouse. After all, although the Eastern Sea Islands were a mix of dragons and snakes, a Mahayana heavenly monarch close to the refining void period was extremely rare. The addition of even one more could influence the current situation of the Eastern Sea Islands. Blood Demon Sea. The Vermilion Sea, red as blood, undulated. In the depths of the Blood Demon Sea, on an islet, a man in a crimson robe was sitting cross-legged. In front of him floated illusory scenes of Lin Yuanyang's recent annihilation of the Black Gauze archipelago. Taiyang True Fire. How long has it been since a heavenly monarch who mastered Taiyang True Fire appeared? The corners of the crimson-robed man's mouth lifted, revealing a hint of a smile. Taiyang True Fire, the world's utmost yang and toughest flame, said to burn everything to ashes. It seems he's not from the Taoed Immortal sect. The crimson-robed man fell into thought, then spoke, "Come, Master." The blood sea churned around him, and a figure emerged, bowing to the man in crimson. "Go and find out more about this person. Do not offend him. The enemy of immortal sects is a friend of mine, understand?" The crimson-robed man spoke indifferently. Ghost Palace of Netherworld. Upon a somber and pitch-black throne sat a gaunt man. Such a level of Taiyang True Fire, the gaunt man frowned slightly. As a ghost cultivator, even reaching the refined void realm, he instinctively detested the Taiyang True Fire, this utmost yang flame. However, the gaunt man knew well that the mysterious powerhouse wielding Taiyang True Fire must have a grudge with the Taoed Immortal sect. Therefore, no matter what power he wielded, he would be an ally of the Ghost Palace of Netherworld. "Xiao Lu." The gaunt man spoke up. A weak and delicate-looking woman appeared. If one observed carefully, they would find that this delicate woman's figure was somewhat translucent. She was a ghost cultivator. Go to the East Sea. Try your best to gather information about this person. After speaking, the gaunt man added another instruction: remember, he might be our ally, so we must avoid any reckless actions. Time passed by. 5 years flit by in the blink of an eye. Cloud mist blessed land. In the cultivation chamber, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged alone. The blood in his body flowed like a great river, and his hot blood qi made the temperature of the whole chamber soar, even distorting the air. Physical cultivation godhood peak, just a little more, and I can attempt to break through to refine void. Lin Yuan opened his eyes, settling his blood qi. I can vaguely feel that deep within my bloodline, some power is awakening. Could that be the physical body divine ability? Anticipation appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Physical body divine ability is unique to each individual, stemming from the latent power deep within one's bloodline. Before the complete awakening of the physical body divine ability, no one knows what their power might be. Of course, no matter what kind of physical body divine ability one has, it's greatly beneficial to a cultivator, an independent force outside the immortal cultivation system. Take it slow. I'm not in a hurry. Lin Yuan stopped cultivating. In the past 5 years, aside from advancing his physical cultivation from the initial stage of divinity transformation to the peak, Lin Yuan also progressed in the martial Tao cultivation system from the first segment of the 6th rank to the 3rd segment. If measured by the realm standards of the local immortal cultivation system, Lin Yuan would now be considered at the entreing void realm, at the very peak. It's time to calculate. Baiyu Island should be emerging. Lin Yuan's mind shifted slightly as he looked in the direction of the East Sea. About 5 or 6 years ago, there had been rumors that Baiyu Island was about to emerge. But in reality, the process from the near emergence of Baiyu Island to its complete surfacing requires a considerable amount of time. After all, rising from the depths of the deep sea to the surface cannot be accomplished overnight. But even if it's slow, by now, it should be close to surfacing. It's just the right timing. If I want to spread martial Tao and establish a power base, I must have a territory. Daoud Immortal sect has Mount Morality Immortal, the Blood Demon Lord occupies the north, the Ghost Cultivator King claims the south, the Barbaric Demon Saint claims the west, then I, in martial Tao, shall start with Baiyu Island. Lin Yuan thought to himself. First secure Baiyu Island, then recruit disciples and cultivate martial Tao. According to Lin Yuan's plan, within no more than 200 years he will sweep across the eastern sea islands, and in 300 years, martial Tao would stand alongside Demon Tao, Ghost Path, and Demonic Tao, on par with the Daoud Immortal sect. As for how far martial Tao can go, that will depend on the realm Lin Yuan is able to cultivate to. Eastern Sea Islands. Lin Yuanyang stood mighty amidst the clouds. Baiyu Island, Lin Yuan gazed into the distance. There, spiritual energy burst forth like the origin of the East Sea spiritual energy, spewing vast amounts of it in all directions. This was the sign that Baiyu Island was about to fully emerge. Let's go. Lin Yuan's figure vanished. In the depths of the East Sea, spiritual energy surged mightily, overwhelming the surroundings. A massive island slowly floated up from beneath the sea surface. To call it an island might be an understatement. Its area was several times larger than Kanglan Star, but compared to the vast sea and the central divine continent, it was indeed just an island. Baiyu Island has emerged. Chapter 248 To Be or Not to Be, super large chapter of over 5,000 words, please subscribe _3. Hurry up, if you're late, all the opportunities will be taken. Yes, we need to move fast. Tens of thousands of Eastern Sea cultivators had already been waiting for a long time. The moment Baiyu Island appeared, they were ready to swarm towards it. However, just then, a mighty heavenly might enveloped everything. Dozens of Mahayana phase heaven lords, standing proudly under the heavens. It's the heaven lords. Damn it, the heaven lords from the 800 sects and 3,000 left paths have joined forces. They aim to monopolize Baiyu Island. How infuriating. Why don't we have a heaven lord as our support? Countless Eastern Sea rogue cultivators felt both angry and helpless. In the Eastern Sea Islands, the strong are revered. Such is the rule, the iron law. Fellow Taoists, we will not let everyone return without gain. The outer regions of Baiyu Island will soon be open to all. Under the heavens, a female heaven lord spoke, her voice echoing in the ears of every cultivator. The outer region. It's acceptable, though the spiritual energy is far less than inside Baiyu Island, it's still better than the outside. Who called us weak? Upon hearing this, many Eastern Sea rogue cultivators breathed a slight sigh of relief. At least, they hadn't come here in vain this time. Above Baiyu Island, under the heavens, the dozens of Mahayana phase heaven lords confronted each other. This time, as Baiyu Island emerges, White Bone sect intends to occupy 50% of the core region, said a heaven lord, his figure skeletal, slowly. This Heaven Lord was known as Baigu Heaven Lord, the master of White Bones sect among the 800 sections. White Bones sect, in the context of the 800 sects, was an extremely powerful force, ranking within the top 5. 50% of the core region of Baiyu Island, Baigu Heaven Lord, have you lost your mind? Another Heaven Lord, emanating a gloomy aura, furrowed his brows. He was known as Een Mountain Heaven Lord, master of the Een Mountain sect. Though Een Mountain Heaven Lord was not as strong as Baigu Heaven Lord, there were dozens of Heaven Lords present. No matter how strong Baigu Heaven Lord was, could he really oppose everyone? Indeed. Baigu, you are too greedy. At most, we'll give you 10% of the core region. The female Heaven Lord who spoke first opened her mouth again. She was the leader of the Divine Divination sect and also known as Divine Divination Celestial Lord. Ha 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 ha. I have reached Mahayana perfection, just half a step away from advancing to the ancient saint of refinement void realm. Although he had thought that someday he might confront this mystery powerhouse, also at Mahayana perfection, he had not anticipated it would be so soon. Under the watchful eyes of dozens of Mahayana heavenly monarchs, Lin Yuan ascended to the skies, reaching a height parallel to the celestial lords. The Baigu Heaven Lord's expression changed, but he restrained himself from acting impulsively. Without understanding the mysterious powerhouse's intentions, it was better to opt for peace. Seeing the Baigu Heaven Lord hold back, the other celestial lords naturally dared not make a move either. Lin Yuan looked over the many divinity transformation stage celestial lords, his demeanor calm. 800 secondary paths, 3,000 left paths, I am the White Jade Island Lord. Lin Yuan's lips curved into a smile as he softly said, "Is it or isn't it?" His voice was soft, yet it reached every celestial lord's ears, and even the many Eastern Sea freelancers below could hear these two sentences. The dozens of celestial lords looked at each other in silence, their gazes flicking back to the Baigu Heaven Lord. The Baigu Heaven Lord only wanted 5 parts in the core area of White Jade Island. This mysterious powerhouse, on the other hand, had plans to claim the entire White Jade Island. The Baigu Heaven Lord looked toward Lin Yuan, his face showing anger, his arrogance immense. Did he really think the Baigu Heaven Lord was like any other ordinary Mahayana heavenly monarch? Wanting to be the Lord of White Jade Island, had he asked the Baigu Heaven Lord's permission? Seeing no one respond, Lin Yuan's gaze swept over the celestial lords again, his expression growing colder. Be it or not. Boom! With that statement, it was as though a decree had been announced. The Baigu Heaven Lord's expression wildly changed, and the surrounding celestial lords also showed fear. We pay our respects to the White Jade Island Lord. The Baigu Heaven Lord immediately bowed deeply toward Lin Yuan. The other dozens of celestial lords did the same, all bowing in unison toward Lin Yuan. We pay our respects to the White Jade Island Lord. Chapter 249 Establishing the Tao Order and the Ultimate Physical Body. Please subscribe. Above White Jade Island. Lin Yuan stood with his hands behind his back, his expression serene. Led by Baigu Heaven Lord, dozens of Mahayana phase Heaven Lords all bowed deeply with utmost respect. Rise. Lin Yuan was in a good mood. He had just taken a stroll inside White Jade Island and found the environment quite pleasing, very suitable to be the starting point for spreading the martial Tao. Using White Jade Island as the origin of martial Tao was undoubtedly the best choice for the initial stage. Yes. The group of Mahayana phase Heaven Lords, like Baigu Heaven Lord, simultaneously heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts. Compared to Lin Yuan's good spirits, the shock in the hearts of these Mahayana phase Heaven Lords could only be described as earth-shattering. Especially for Baigu Heaven Lord at the forefront, his heart was churning with tempestuous waves. The moment Lin Yuan had uttered the 4 words, "Neither is also is," Baigu Heaven Lord was already prepared to take action. What a joke! White Jade Island was a grand opportunity that appeared only once in thousands of years in the East Sea. Why should he just give up such a precious island on Lin Yuan's mere claim to be the White Jade Island Lord? But before Baigu Heaven Lord could act, he felt an overwhelming pressure descend upon him, vast as the ocean. In that moment, Baigu Heaven Lord felt as if he had returned to his foundation establishment days, witnessing two nascent soul period true monarchs battle ferociously. That all-encompassing oppression made Baigu Heaven Lord's spirit tremble, and without any hesitation, he acknowledged Lin Yuan as the rightful lord of White Jade Island. Because Baigu Heaven Lord realized that if he didn't do so, his fate would be very, very grim. He might even end up dead, his cultivation path obliterated. Compared to his own life, what was White Jade Island? Baigu Heaven Lord glanced at the other Mahayana phase Heaven Lords who were pale, knowing they must have had a similar experience. This mysterious powerhouse is not just at the peak of Mahayana, he must, at the very least, have touched the threshold of the refined void stage, possibly even a half-step refinement void ancient saint. Baigu Heaven Lord felt helpless inside. To progress from the Mahayana phase to the refining void period, one must overcome numerous major stages. Mahayana perfection just signifies reaching the peak, the ultimate limit of the Mahayana phase. But the distance to the void refinement realm was still unfathomably far. This was also why there were so few refinement void ancient saints in this world. Specifically, after reaching Mahayana perfection, there are still 3 or 4 stages to go through. They are touching the threshold of refined void, 1 foot entering refined void, both feet entering refined void, and more than half the body entering the refined void, and so on. In fact, in the main world, progressing from 5th rank to 6th rank is similarly complex, requiring a transformation and integration of the soul. For every additional % of transformation, one's strength increases by that much more, and when Lin Yuan's soul transformation reached 100%, his combat power had reached the threshold of 6th rank. Of course, this sort of explanation holds little meaning for the vast majority of cultivators. In the eyes of nascent soul period true monarchs, the difference between Mahayana perfection and almost fully entering refined void is negligible. But at this moment, Baigu Heaven Lord, who had deeply felt Lin Yuan's oppressive aura, believed that Lin Yuan possessed at least the strength of a half-step refinement void ancient saint. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to overwhelm him with just his presence, to give him this kind of irresistible feeling. You should go back to where you came from. Lin Yuan glanced at the dozens of Mahayana phase Heaven Lords who were trembling with trepidation, unsure whether to stay or leave, and spoke indifferently. Then White Jade Island Lord, we will take our leave first. The several dozen Mahayana phase Heaven Lords gratefully turned into beams of escape light, fleeing the area as if they had just been granted a pardon, like mice scurrying away from a cat. Lin Yuan watched as the numerous Mahayana phase Heaven Lords left. He did not make a move. With his power, he certainly could have detained all the Mahayana phase Heaven Lords. But that would accomplish little. The East Sea was vast, and though the cultivation environment wasn't nearly as good as that of the central divine continent, the area wasn't much smaller. If Lin Yuan were to kill all the Mahayana phase Heaven Lords, the whole Eastern Sea Islands would fall into even greater chaos. It would also draw the attention of the Dowd Immortal sect, and the Blood Demon Sea, Ghost Palace of Netherworld might take the opportunity to extend their reach into the East Sea. For Lin Yuan, the existence of these Mahayana phase Heaven Lords from the East Sea had no impact on him whether they were alive or dead, but their death would create greater chaos, which was why he had not acted with a killing intent. Above the sea's surface, countless cultivators of the East Sea watched incredulously as the several dozen Heaven Lords, previously as mighty as the heavens, discussed how to divide White Jade Island. Then, a figure emerged from within the island, and before saying much, claimed to be the Lord of White Jade Island. What was even more incredible was that Baigu Heaven Lord and the other Heaven Lords seemed to have no objections and promptly bowed down. It was like a fantastical tale. And now, the group of Mahayana phase cultivators led by Baigu Heaven Lord hastily departed from White Jade Island without any hesitation, as if White Jade Island suddenly wasn't a prize to vie for, but a place of nightmares. What on earth happened? Why did all the Heaven Lords leave? Who is the person who walked out of White Jade Island? Is he truly the White Jade Island Lord just because he says so? The numerous cultivators of the East Sea whispered among themselves. The scene was too inconceivable. The Heaven Lords, who were like immovable celestial beings, were now so benevolent. I remember now, this person must be the mysterious powerhouse who burnt the Black Gauze Archipelago years ago. I have been to the Black Gauze Archipelago before, and the Taiyang True Fire aura, so utterly young, is unforgettable to this day. So it's that powerhouse. Does it make sense though? Wasn't it said that he was only at Mahayana perfection? How could he make Baigu Heaven Lord and a host of other Heaven Lords retreat? Isn't that simple? In the Eastern Sea Islands, power is respected. While Baigu Heaven Lord, also at Mahayana perfection, only dared to ask for half of the core area of White Jade Island. But this powerhouse directly took the entire White Jade Island for himself. It can only mean his strength far exceeds Mahayana perfection. Chapter 250 Establishing the Tao Order and the Ultimate Physical Body. Please subscribe _2. Many scattered cultivators from the Eastern Sea Islands discussed in turn, ultimately speculating the majority of the situation. It wasn't difficult to figure out, whether it was in the East Sea or the Central Divine Continent, strength decided everything. That deities like Baigu Heaven Lord and others at the divinity transformation stage retreated was hard to imagine at first, but upon careful thought, one could understand the reasoning behind it. Under the expanse of the sky, Lin Yuan's gaze fell upon the numerous scattered cultivators of the Eastern Sea Islands below. I am Yuan Yang, the master of Baiyu Island. Today, I established the White Jade Pavilion to broadly recruit disciples. Anyone who passes the test and joins the White Jade Pavilion will qualify to enter the core area of Baiyu Island for cultivation. As Lin Yuan spoke, his voice was gentle yet reverberated in the ears of every cultivator. Yuan Yang was the name Lin Yuan gave to this Yang spirit avatar, and the White Jade Pavilion was the force he planned to establish, in order to spread the martial path evolutionary path. After Lin Yuan finished speaking, he vanished above Baiyu Island. The numerous cultivators below exploded into discussion. Yuan Yang, so this mysterious powerhouse is called Yuan Yang. Did you all hear that? As long as you pass the test and join the White Jade Pavilion, you can enter the internal regions of Baiyu Island for cultivation. I want to apply to join the White Jade Pavilion. It's good to enjoy the shade under a big tree. Since Master Yuanyang overpowered several Heaven Lords, following him must be right. The multitude of scattered cultivators were quite tempted. Of course, everyone knew very well that since Yuanyang mentioned passing the test, it meant that not everyone could join the White Jade Pavilion. But in any case, it was still worth a try, with no loss involved. Lin Yuan's occupation of Baiyu Island and the establishment of White Jade Pavilion to recruit a large number of disciples not only caused a stir among the Eastern Sea Islands. It also caught the attention of the Daoed Immortal sect, situated in the Central Divine Continent. Mount Morality Immortal. At the highest summit, within the Grand Hall, the high-level cultivators of the Immortal sect gathered together. Above the main seat at the high end of the hall, the Immortal sect leader Mu Qinglu appeared. Sect Master. All present stood and bowed in greeting. Speak directly. Sect Master Mu Qinglu commanded. That mysterious powerhouse who took action against the Black Gauze Archipelago has appeared again. He calls himself Yuanyang, claiming Baiyu Island, establishing the force of White Jade Pavilion, and broadly recruiting disciples. Mu Mengting immediately reported. He had paid close attention to this matter over the years. After all, the Black Gauze Archipelago was his many years of effort, and its overnight fall was a considerable blow. Oh. Are the divinity transformation cultivators of the East Sea allowing him to do as he pleases? Immortal sect leader Mu Qinglu frowned. That's not exactly the case. Mu Mengting hesitated before continuing. When Baiyu Island emerged, the Heaven Lords of the 800 sects and 3,000 left paths in the East Sea also harbored designs on Baiyu Island, but in the end, they all gave up voluntarily. Sect Master, that Yuanyang strength must not be as simple as just Mahayana perfection. It is estimated that he is at the half-step refined void level. The elder with golden, curly, lion-like hair stood and spoke. Half-step refinement void. Immortal sect leader Mu Qinglu fell into contemplation. What are your thoughts? How should we deal with this Yuanyang and the White Jade Pavilion? Mu Qinglu asked. Sect Master, such a powerhouse, unless an ancient saint of refinement void makes a move, it is very difficult to deal with him. Jun Dongjin stated. A half-step refinement void ancient saint's power almost exceeds the divinity transformation stage. Without the ancient saints taking action, they stand unstoppable. Even using the sect's founding artifact, the Taihao Immortal Mirror, to project an avatar millions of miles away, they couldn't bother a half-step ancient saint. The power of an avatar of the mirror was far less than the true body, having at most a power that approached an ancient saint. But since Master Yuanyang was a half-step ancient saint, only a true ancient saint could pose a threat to him. However, the Daoist Immortal sect had only one refinement void ancient saint, which was the sect master, and though they had many safeguarding foundations, they were all geared more towards defense and protection. Unless Master Yuanyang personally set foot in the central divine continent, the Daoist Immortal sect was rather powerless, given his location in the vast East Sea. As for letting sect master Mu Qinglu take the founding artifact of the sect and head to the East Sea to suppress the enemy, the Daoist Immortal sect is not without enemies. North of the divine continent lies the Blood Demon Sea, south of it is the Ghost Palace of Netherworld, and west of it the barbaric demon Saint Nesht. As long as sect master Mu Qinglu dares to leave the Immortal sect with the founding artifact, Mount Morality Immortal faces the risk of being attacked. To put one's own immortal mountain in jeopardy for a mere half-step refinement void ancient saint, regardless of how low the possibility, is simply not worth it. Let's just wait and see for now. The Immortal sect leader Mu Qinglu spoke. In fact, with the foundation of the Daoist Immortal sect, even if Mu Qinglu left with the founding artifact, the Ghost Palace of Netherworld, Blood Demon Sea, and barbaric demon Saint Nesht could not breach Mount Morality Immortal in a short period, yet there was no necessity. To withstand the siege of 3 ancient saints of refinement void without having a saint of the same tier defending, the Daoist Immortal sect would also have to pay a significant price. The Master Yuanyang was merely a half-step refinement void ancient saint, and not worth the Daoist Immortal sect paying a price to deal with. For hundreds of thousands of years, Central Divine Continent had seen such figures come and go, not requiring the hand of the Immortal sect for them to disappear from history. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years went by. On Baiyu Island in the East Sea. Within the core cave dwelling. Lin Yuanyang sat cross-legged, his yang spirit. Upon reaching the 6th rank, Lin Yuan's Yang God and Yin God were almost solidified into substance. Unless he went all out, one would never be able to tell they were but avatars of the primordial spirit. After half a day, Lin Yuan finished his cultivation. Stepping out of the cave dwelling, he looked over the entire Baiyu Island. In 10 years, the White Jade Pavilion had significantly expanded. With a powerful figure like Lin Yuan as its anchor, many scattered cultivators from the East Sea were extremely eager to join the White Jade Pavilion. Of course, the requirement to join the White Jade Pavilion was that regardless of what cultivation methods one practiced before joining, after joining, one must abandon them and convert to martial Tao. This requirement deterred many scatter cultivators, but still, many were willing to willingly convert to martial Tao. As of today, the number of martial Tao cultivators in the White Jade capital has surpassed 100,000. Among them, 12 are at the third rank of martial Tao, 5,730 at the second layer, and over 90,000 at the first rank. The spiritual energy on Bayou Island is abundant, comparable to the blessed lands and caves of heaven in the central divine continent. Although martial Tao does not depend on nature's spiritual energy, having it is better than not. Master. Just as Lin Yuan stepped out of the cave dwelling, a girl with delicate features approached and respectfully greeted him. This girl, named Li Qing, was a disciple taken by Lin Yuan during the past 10 years. She possessed quite impressive martial talent and had already stepped into the third rank of martial Tao. How's the spread of the martial Tao cultivation methods going? Lin Yuan asked. Li Qing was not just talented, she was reliable and adept at handling affairs. Most of the White Jade Pavilion's matters were entrusted to her while Lin Yuan was in seclusion. Master, the initial chapter of the martial Tao cultivation methods has been spread across the eastern sea islands. Parts of it have even reached the central divine continent, the Blood Demon Sea, and Ghost Palace of Netherworld have also seen distribution. Li Qing replied. Good. Lin Yuan nodded. To spread the martial path evolutionary path, relying solely on the White Jade Island and White Jade Pavilion was clearly insufficient. Instead, it was necessary to let the martial art system's methods disseminate in this world, so that even if the White Jade Island and White Jade Pavilion were to vanish, the martial art system would continue to exist. This was Lin Yuan's goal. The world consciousness of this land was different from that of the five regions world and did not target a specific cultivation system. Cloud Mist Blessed Land. Inside the cultivation secret chamber. Lin Yuan sat quietly, the breath within his body circulating. Suddenly, the aura released by Lin Yuan surged sharply. 6th rank, Stage 5. Lin Yuan opened his eyes as the aura he emitted rapidly receded, making him seem like an ordinary person. After 10 years of cultivation, Lin Yuan had opened the 6th rank chapter of the martial arts evolution system to its 5th stage. However, Lin Yuan felt that the further he went, the greater the difficulty in advancing, for the paths he opened for the martial path evolutionary path were as perfect as possible. If he had only intended to create an ordinary 6th rank evolution path, there was no need for Lin Yuan to expend so much effort. However, it seems I can now break through to the refined void stage in body cultivation. A smile spread across Lin Yuan's face. Over the past 10 years, alongside the development of the martial path evolutionary path, he had not ceased his research into the path of body cultivation. Now Lin Yuan's proficiency in body cultivation had reached its pinnacle, lacking only the final step. Chapter 251 Flattening the Demon Saint's Nest. Please subscribe. Body cultivation void layer, I've almost completely comprehended it. Lin Yuan thought to himself. As long as he wished, he could now step into refined void in the body cultivation lineage. Becoming the first body cultivation ancient saint in the central divine continent in hundreds of thousands of years. However, Lin Yuan's expression fell into brief contemplation. Unlike returning to the 6th rank, the lineage of body cultivation was new to Lin Yuan. If he broke through to body cultivation refined void, it would be difficult to perfectly conceal his aura as he did when returning to the 6th rank. Lin Yuan's return to the 6th rank emphasized return, having already traversed it once in the main world. Therefore, when he stepped into the 6th rank again in this immortal Tao world, as easy as eating and drinking, even the founding artifact of the sect, the Taihao Immortal Mirror, which monitored all aura in divine continent, did not detect Lin Yuan stepping into the 6th rank. But if he were to break through in the body cultivation lineage to refine void, Lin Yuan wasn't confident he could control his own aura, considering he had never walked this path before. I can't break through in cloud mist blessed land. Lin Yuan silently thought to himself. The Daoed Immortal sect was nearby. This place was under the direct surveillance of the Taihao Immortal Mirror. Any slight anomaly in aura would attract the attention of the Taihao Immortal Mirror, consequently drawing the gaze of the Immortal sect leader. For hundreds of thousands of years, why hadn't the Daoed Immortal sect, Blood Demon Sea, Nether Palace, and Demon Saint's Nest dared to invade easily? It was because of the Taihao Immortal Mirror. This immortal founding artifact, when activated on its own, could cover Central Divine Continent. If activated by an ancient saint, it could even form an immortal mirror incarnation and descend anywhere in this world. Of course, the farther the distance, the weaker the incarnation of the immortal mirror would be. Where to break through? In front of Lin Yuan, multiple screens of light appeared, showing a map of this world. Lin Yuan's gaze first fell on the area of the Eastern Sea Islands. After years of being presided over by Yang Spirit, White Jade Pavilion had already become the foremost among the 800 subsidiary sects and 3,000 left paths of the East Sea. No. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment and then gently shook his head. The East Sea was indeed under the influence of White Jade Pavilion, but it was also a key focus area for the Daoed Immortal sect, Blood Demon Sea, and Ghost Palace of Netherworld. Especially as the influence of White Jade Pavilion had grown over the years, the Daoed Immortal sect had particularly increased their scrutiny here. Choosing to break through in the East Sea was not a good idea, as the immortal mirror incarnation of the immortal sect master might descend at any time, making it unnecessary to take such a risk. Apart from the East Sea, Lin Yuan could only choose the north, south, or west. In fact, there was almost no difference between these three places. Although they were constantly ravaged and suppressed by the Daoed Immortal sect, the greater the suppression, the safer it was, as it was darkest under the lamp. Let's choose the west. Lin Yuan made up his mind. To the west was the domain of the barbaric demon beasts. The Demon Saint's Nest was the holy land of the barbaric demon beasts, guarded by a demon saint whose power paralleled the ancient saint of refined void layer. And the barbaric demon saint Nest was under the purview of Jun Wuji's father, Jun Dongjin, who was responsible for the suppression and sweeping of the area. Over the years, Lin Yuan had roughly figured out the deployment and routine of the immortal sect disciples suppressing the barbaric demon beasts. With this knowledge, Lin Yuan could definitely achieve his breakthrough unnoticed and undisturbed by external forces. Even if some breakthrough anomalies occurred during the process, they would be hard to detect for a while, and by the time they attracted the attention of other powerhouses, Lin Yuan would have already left. Having determined the location for his breakthrough, Lin Yuan walked out of the cultivation chamber. My lord, Chunhua and Chuyue greeted him warmly. Lin Yuan nodded. Several days later, Lin Yuan instructed Chunhua and Chuyue, I plan to go into closed-door cultivation soon. Turn away anyone looking for me, including big brother, second sister, father, and mother. Yes. Chunhua and Chuyue immediately responded. This was not the first time such an event had occurred. Ever since Jun Wuji moved into Cloud Mist Blessed Land decades ago, he had begun to cultivate forensically, spending most of the time in closed-door cultivation. And during this period, no one could disturb him. After instructing Chunhua and Chuyue, Lin Yuan once again entered the cultivation chamber. Time to leave. Lin Yuan stood inside the chamber, leaving behind a trail of his own scent. This scent could replace him, being sensed by the outside world's Chunhua and Chuyue. At the same time, if anyone broke into this cultivation chamber, no matter how far Lin Yuan was, as long as he was within this realm, he would be able to sense it. After completing all this, Lin Yuan silently left Cloud Mist Blessed Land. This was the second time Lin Yuan had left Cloud Mist Blessed Land since he moved in. The first time was during the grand ceremony of the Immortal sect leader's grandfather in the Hollow Void, on the edge of Central Divine Continent. In an ordinary valley. At some point, a figure appeared. This place is quite good. Lin Yuan looked at the valley and nodded slightly. This valley was not within the jurisdiction of Central Divine Continent. Nor was it in the domain of the barbaric demon beasts, but was in a buffer zone between the two. Here, the Taihao Immortal Mirror of the Dowd Immortal sect could not monitor on its own unless the Immortal sect leader actively stimulated it, specifically sensing this location. But it was very unlikely for the Immortal sect leader to do so without any reason. The reason why the Immortal sect leader had previously activated the Taihao Immortal Mirror and descended into the East Sea was because Lin Yuan had interfered with the Black Gauze Archipelago and disrupted the sect's arrangements. This is it. Lin Yuan arrived at the valley and sat cross-legged in a cave. Sigh. An ethereal figure walked out from inside Lin Yuan. It was the Yin spirit. This breakthrough was a physical one, so the Yin spirit and Yang spirit were free to protect Lin Yuan. Since Lin Yuan had broken through to the 6th rank, the power of the Yin spirit and Yang spirit had also risen significantly. Even though they were slightly weaker than their original form, they still possessed the combat power of an ancient saint of refined void layer. With an ancient saint protecting his cultivation, Lin Yuan's breakthrough, especially in such a buffer zone, wouldn't matter. He would have ample time to handle any situation that arose. Chapter 252 Flattening the Demon Saint's Nest. Please subscribe _2. Even if we retreat 10,000 steps, during the breakthrough, the Immortal sect leader holding the founding artifact of the sect might come to kill. The Yin spirit can also take Lin Yuan's true self away. It's merely a matter of failing the breakthrough. For Lin Yuan, there are plenty of ways to compensate. It's not considered a significant loss. Begin. Lin Yuan closed his eyes. Inside his body, the vast vital blood slowly began to boil. East Sea. Beiyu Island. At the moment Lin Yuan was breaking through, the Yang spirit opened his eyes, looking in the direction where Lin Yuan was. I hope nothing goes wrong. Lin Yuanyang thought to himself, yet he ceased his seclusion, constantly paying attention to any disturbance during Lin Yuan's breakthrough. If some extreme situation did occur, one where an ancient saint-level powerhouse came to kill, the Yang spirit avatar could rapidly disperse at a crucial moment, then reconvene within the Yin spirit's body. In other words, appearing beside Lin Yuan out of thin air, covering an infinite distance. The Yang God and Yin God are inherently two sides of the same entity. After the Yang God disperses, the Yin spirit, at great cost, can quickly give birth to the power of Taiyang, and in turn, form the Yang God. When the Yin spirit and Yang spirit merge, they transform into the Taiji primordial spirit, whose combat power is by no means weaker than Lin Yuan's true self. Of course, such a technique would cause certain wear and tear on the Yang spirit and Yin spirit, but as long as it ensures the smooth breakthrough of the true self, it is worth some sacrifice. On the other side of the tense buffer zone between Central Divine Continent and the barbaric demon beast forces, Jun Xiaoyao and Jun Jilan stood in the void, commanding a large number of Immortal sect disciples, slaughtering the barbaric demon beasts. It was at this time, Jun Xiaoyao's expression changed slightly. He reached out for a disc-shaped magical artifact. At this moment, its needle was trembling incessantly. This disc artifact was named Demon Sensing Disc. It could sense the movements, numbers, and strengths of demonic beasts within tens of thousands of miles. And just at that moment, the demon sensing disc was vibrating continuously. It must be the esteemed firstborn prince from the demon saint's nest who has awakened. Jun Xiaoyao said solemnly. The firstborn prince. Jun Xilan's expression darkened. The demon saint's nest is a holy land for the barbaric demon beasts, where demon saints on par with ancient saints lie dormant. If not for the demon saint's nest, the barbaric demon beasts would have long been annihilated by the Dowd Immortal sect. How could they still exist until now? And the firstborn prince is the premier progeny of that demon saint within the nest. The strength of the firstborn prince could be said to be the strongest below the ancient saints, and with his demon saint bloodline, could even burst forth with true ancient saint-level combat power for a short period. If that's the case, have all disciples temporarily retreat to the divine continent, Jun Jilan commanded. The barbaric demon beast's firstborn prince was too terrifying. The Dowd Immortal sect indeed had the means to counter him, but there was no need. The firstborn prince had a special bloodline, spending most of his time in slumber, only occasionally waking up to wander around. It can be said that as long as the Dowd Immortal sect avoids the time when the firstborn prince is awake, they need not face such a terrifying opponent. Very well. Jun Xiaoyao nodded. He immediately issued the order. Countless Dowd Immortal sect disciples, who were slaughtering demonic beasts, stopped promptly and headed back to the boundaries of Central Divine Continent. Meanwhile, deep in the barbarian wilderness, a terrifying presence was stirring back to life. Countless demonic beasts, whether great demons or demon kings, were all trembling in fear, lying prostrate on the ground, daring not to move. Boom boom boom. 1,000 zhang tall figure could be seen slowly approaching, with each step causing the earth to quake and the old aura of the barbarian wilderness hitting one's face. Upon closer inspection, this 1,000 zhang tall figure was, astonishingly, a giant ape. What exactly is the concept of 1,000 zhang? Converted into meters, that's 3,000 to 4,000 meters, majestic and towering. Finally awake again. Mother really insists on making me practice that kind of demonic technique. Out of 100 years, I have to sleep for 90, the 1,000 zhang giant ape strode along, paying no mind to the countless demonic beasts it trampled to death. For it, those beasts were no different from ants, who would care about stepping on a few ants? What fresh air! It's a pity I can only enjoy it for 10 years, the 1,000 zhang giant ape sighed. In 10 years, it would have to continue its slumber, until it woke up again 100 years later. Boom boom boom. The 1,000 zhang giant ape continued on its way. It quickly left the area of the barbarian wilderness and arrived at the border region facing the Central Divine Continent. Humph. Those disciples of the Immortal sect are quite clever, all having run off without a trace. The 1,000 zhang giant ape glanced in the direction of the Central Divine Continent, not intending to invade. Although it had slept for nearly 100 years, the giant ape's mind was somewhat slow to react, but it wasn't dumb. Entering the Central Divine Continent would be akin to exposing itself under the Taihao Immortal Mirror, constantly vulnerable to an attack from the Immortal sect leader from afar. It'll just stroll around here. The 1,000 zhang giant ape decided to limber up its limbs. Just then, the giant ape seemed to sense something and sniffed with its nose. This aura, the eyes of the 1,000 zhang giant ape lit up. It faintly sensed a vast amount of nature's spiritual energy converging towards a certain location. Is it the appearance of a heaven and earth spirit root? Or is it the ripening of a great herb of this world? The giant ape's huge mouth cracked open. Mine, it's all mine. The 1,000 zhang giant ape immediately strode towards the direction it had sensed. In a valley, Lin Yuan opened his eyes. Virtual body refinement. Feeling the huge surge of vital energy within his body, Lin Yuan's spirits were lifted. Physical body divine ability, Lin Yuan could already feel that deep within his bloodlines, a certain aura had been nurtured to completion, ready to take form at any moment. Just as Lin Yuan was about to check exactly which physical body divine ability it was, suddenly, a thunderous rumbling came from the earth. The next moment, Lin Yuan left the cave. He came up to the top of the valley. What's that? Lin Yuan looked off into the distance. Chapter 253 Flattening the Demon Saint's Nest. Please subscribe. _3. A giant ape, 1,000 zhang tall, was madly rushing in this direction. The great prince of the demon saint's nest. Lin Yuan immediately recognized the other party. After all, this demon was extremely famous, known to be a match for the ancient saint of refinement Void, and when it burst forth, it even possessed combat power at the level of an ancient saint. Boom, boom, boom. The 1,000 zhang giant ape took huge strides forward. Where is my heaven and earth spirit root? Where is my great medicine of this world? The 1,000 zhang giant ape stopped in its tracks, looking around. With its enormous size, it paid no attention to the valley beneath its feet. To the giant ape, what they called a valley was nothing but a small mound. Ha! Did you steal my heaven and earth spirit root and the great medicine of this world? The 1,000 zhang giant ape scrutinized carefully and soon spotted a figure as tiny as a speck of dust. In the distance, several demonic beasts cautiously observed the 1,000 zhang giant ape. The great prince seems to be in a good mood, a wolf demon muttered under its breath. He too was a demon king of the Mahayana phase, but in front of the 1,000 zhang giant ape, he was no different from those great demons of the nascent soul stage. Some of the human race didn't leave. A demon king next to him seemed to have discovered something and looked towards the minute human figure on top of the valley beneath the giant ape's feet. He probably didn't notice. Too bad, he's going to die under the great prince's feet. The third demon king said quietly, his tone revealing schadenfreude. On his way here, the great prince had crushed countless demonic beasts. Now, stepping on a human, they only felt much more balanced. This human, facing the great prince, is still not running. He might have some strength, another demon king couldn't help but say. Humph. What can a bit of strength do? In front of the great prince, if you're not an ancient saint, you're all just ants, the wolf demon that started the conversation sneered. The great prince of the demon saint's nest represented the strongest combat power just below the demon saint. That's true. The other demonic beasts nodded one after another. There is no spirit root or great medicine here. Lin Yuan stood at the top of the valley and said calmly. Liar. I clearly felt the aura of the spirit root and great medicine. Was it you who stole my spirit root and great medicine? The 1,000 zhang giant ape flew into a rage. Its voice buzzed, rolling like thunder. Die. Following that, the 1,000 zhang giant ape lifted its right foot and stomped towards Lin Yuan and the valley, intent on crushing them into dust. In the distance, several demonic beasts, witnessing this, looked at Lin Yuan as if they were looking at a dead man. More accurately, none of the demonic beasts' gazes lingered on Lin Yuan, for in the next moment, he would die under the great prince's foot. The great prince's stomp leverages the power of heaven and earth, touches upon the mysteries of space, and even if one had the fastest speed, they couldn't dodge, only endure. Endure the stomp of the great prince? That's not something a human divinity transformation stage heaven lord could do. Only an ancient saint's intervention or life-saving measures of an ancient saint's level such as talismans or magical treasures could save one, otherwise, death is certain, the demonic beasts quickly discussed. Their gazes were also observing the great prince's stomp, seeking to learn something from it. However, in the next moment, all the demonic beasts froze. They saw the towering 1,000 zhang giant ape suddenly stumble and, unable to help itself, retreat several steps, shaking the ground, opening several enormous fissures. In the next instant, the 1,000 zhang giant ape was stomped into the ground by someone. Under their incredulous gazes, Lin Yuan, who initially seemed as tiny as a speck of dust, now appeared as a towering giant, stomping the 1,000 zhang giant ape directly underfoot. Another stomp, pinning the trying to resist giant ape further into the ground. One more stomp, causing the giant ape to spit out a mouthful of fresh blood as the sound of its bones cracking echoed, it lay bloodied and on the brink of death. If it were before, but Lin Yuan looked down at the giant ape, as if looking at an insignificant ant, and said calmly, "I have already been to the depths of the barbarian wilderness and have flattened the demon saint's nest." You're tuning into the Path of the True Immortal YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.